morning. We are live from the YouTube space, London. It is 6:30 a.m., which means the race will be getting undergo in half an hour. We are at season 5, round 6, live from Sanya.
Yeah, Sanya, all the way over here. Wow, what a trip it would be if you had to fly that. Fortunately, we don't. We can bring it all live to you from here, down here. We started all the way back in here in 2014 in Beijing, and of course we've returned to what they call
the Hawaii of China.
Which I think is quite a nice name for it. We'll find out why it's called the Hawaii of China in just a little while. You can see what a beautiful place it is. There is much to come from there, and here's what's to come up in the live show. Of course, we're going to bring you all of the race, so you guys can watch along with us from wherever you are in the world. Of course, you can also win an Xbox One like you normally can on Formula E Voltage. All you need to do is follow the social account and retweet the competition tweet over there. And we've got some fantastic guests lined up for you today. Mr. JWW. Woo! And, of course, Spencer FC. Yeah. Two great guys from the industry.
Well, yeah, I'm clapping you, you can clap
back to back. If you want to get any questions in for those guys, I'm sure you have some burning questions you want to ask either of them. Two different sports, respectively, but both experts in either of which. You can get us on @FEVoltage or hashtag FEVoltage.
Now, guys, obviously we want you to stay right here with us in the studio because we've got a packed show coming up. But if you do want to watch the race completely uninterrupted, then we will put the links below, and that will be BBC Sport and BT Sport. But back to my little monkey, our Formula E guru, Scott Mitchell. Scott Mitchell, everybody.
That's a hell of an intro.
You like that?
Yes, that's, well, it's different.
So we're in Sanya. Some big headlines. It is, in fact, a new track.
Yeah, new track. It's going to be, it's a brilliant place. When you go to somewhere different, you obviously, you bring a bit of variety, something different in the mix. And FE's been really good for that this year. We've had 6 different pole sitters now in 6 races. 5 different winners from the races we've had so far. Yep. So I reckon we've got a good chance of another new one today. And we have 11 people wide open to potentially take that top spot in the championship standings. Yeah, it shows just how varied the season's been. Been really inconsistent. People sort of starring at one stage and then sort of falling down the order at another. So super exciting. I think we can expect more from Sanya today. And Sanya's track, obviously, we just had it on the screen there. It's very technical this time. We've got some long straights and then some really awkward corners as always. And yeah, that attack mode, which we will show you later, is tricky, my friends. So it's coming out here just after turn 3, where you have to come right offline. Yeah, we're getting a little look at it here on the outside of turn 3 there. So that's going to be really difficult. Everyone's going to be offline. They have to do that twice during the race to activate it. Gives them a power boost. It's going to be really difficult to activate it properly. You're going to be offline. You might risk going into the wall. So another big challenge, as if there aren't enough already in Formula E. I mean, last round, just having a quick recap, there was a lot of drama, as there always is. I mean, Sam Bird, that was kind of the biggest story of the race, went up there on the podium and then, in fact, ended up in 6th. Yeah, he had a collision with Andre Lotterer. Bird tried to apologise to Lotterer in between the races, but Lotterer apparently wasn't having any of it. He wasn't answering his calls in between. But it's important for Bird to bounce back here. His team, Envision Virgin, are one of 3 teams that this is a home race for. Envision, Neo, Techeetah, they've all got Chinese investment, so massive one for them. They really need to deliver. There's going to be pressure on them to perform. It is a big race for China. But anyway, guys, if you've been following the season so far, that's great, but we've got a big recap for you to catch you up on everything that's been happening.
Since it kicked off as the only all-electric, globe-trotting, single-seater street racing series back in 2014, Formula E has always been competitive and unpredictable. But over the last few months, Season 5 has been closer and more dramatic than ever. With 22 drivers and 11 teams and a revolutionised car for Gen 2, faster, more aggressive, longer-lasting battery, plus the controversial new attack mode, Formula E is the most wide-open motorsport on the planet. Close fighting, sometimes too close.
Out of nowhere, and Vern spins!
I'm very sorry, I had no break.
They hit each other, Da Costa's in the wall, and the lead is gone!
Oh, that's a big airborne crash for Nelson Piquet.
Close finishes are becoming a habit.
Yes, boys!
Push,
yes! Rossi wins!
As is Sam Bird's journey to speak to the stewards.
Careful, mate, careful.
With 3 of the 4 previous champions currently outside the top 10, this looks like the year of the underdog. Season 5. 5 races, 5 different winners from 5 different teams. High fives all round.
Wow. what a season it's been so far. Both these guys have been keeping up with it. We've got some big racing moments to come along today. Every race has been a great moment so far. And the two guys to watch it with us, Spencer and, of course, James. Let's talk about you first, Spencer, because you went to the last race, didn't you? Before we get into the fact that you went to Hong Kong and had a great experience there, let's see some of your highlights of what Spencer actually does. Spencer, you play FIFA, obviously, and you sort of emerged onto the scene as a big FIFA player in a way.
You could say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of us have been playing it for years, haven't we? But I started. Laurence and I actually go back. We go back a long way.
We worked together in the beginning of the YouTube. Yeah.
We did, and around that time, kind of, I'd been doing YouTube for 4 or 5 years at that point, but not really doing football stuff or anything. But I was a big fan of FIFA, and I saw people like KSI. Obviously, I've been on the show. Having unbelievable success and huge audience, and I thought, oh, I want to have a go at that, and I tried to do something a bit different with it. And that fast forward a few years, and I was lucky enough to start getting to do some stuff in traditional sport as well.
And then you became sort of big enough that you could go to a Formula E race, which is pretty big. Because there have been some
Liam Payne was there.
Yeah.
Me, Liam Payne, and Naomi Campbell. You know, the dream three, really.
Yeah, that's what they said. But as soon as you arrived, they went, "He's finally here." It's Spencer. You went around in the safety car.
I did. I love
What's that experience like? Because I know every influencer, every person who comes on the show seems to love doing the safety car.
Yeah, that was great. It was more tiring than I thought it would be, considering I was literally doing nothing.
You sort of have to hold on with your backside.
I felt tired. I consider myself reasonably fit guy.
Yeah.
I came off the end sweating.
Yeah.
I felt, you know, the guy who's doing the safety car laps all day, every day, Bruno, I think his name is.
Yeah, he's cool.
I just said to him, how many times do you have to do that a day? And he was like, oh, never enough. And I was like, that's the difference. Because I'm knackered, and he wants to do it some more.
But then if you play FIFA with him, I'm sure he'd play it like once. And
he'd be exhausted.
Yeah,
His thumbs would be numb.
Yeah. That's how tough he is. He gets numb thumbs from playing FIFA once. And of course, we've also got James in the studio as well. You run a pretty big car channel. It's
Yeah.
I just enjoy watching your montages because you've got someone who knows how to operate a drone to within an inch of its life.
I have a drone ninja.
Yeah.
He's insane.
Yeah. I mean,
It's good.
you can see some of my highlights already. I mean, there's you went to a race as well.
yeah.
Paris, I think it was last year.
No, Zurich last year.
Zurich, you went to last
yeah.
year. Sorry.
My first experience, in fact, my first experience with Formula E was nuts because they stuck me in a car. So I drove a Formula E car. I think it was season 2 in Battersea Park.
Yeah.
In
I
London.
was there as well in London.
Oh,
It was great,
yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah.
They call it a race circuit, but when you walk around Battersea Park, there's normally dogs and cyclists.
Yeah.
You don't realise that the surface of the circuit is just one big camber.
Yeah.
So when you're driving it, the car's like pulling left, right, and centre.
What was it like to be? Because it's a very powerful car as well, isn't it? But you don't feel it in the. You sort of feel it unusually.
There is, in fact.
'Cause
Yeah.
when you put your
That's
foot down
the,
in an electric
highlight.
car, it's very different to.
It is.
a motor.
Yes. So I mean, the unique character trait of the power delivery of electric is that it is instant torque.
Yeah.
So there's 100% of torque available from get-go.
Yeah.
So the acceleration is relentless, you know. But what was fascinating is driving it on a street circuit. The sense of speed is heightened so much because of your proximity to the walls.
Yeah.
And, you know, but for me, that's what makes the racing so interesting is that it's always close because everyone's like fighting for such a small amount of tarmac.
Which we sort of saw influence the race massively last time.
Hugely,
Sandberg
yeah.
sort of falling foul of that in
Yeah,
a way. Of course, Spencer, you drive.
I do, yeah. I drove here today.
Are you much of a? Are you much?
Speed limit that I kept in.
Yeah, obviously 70 miles an hour tops. Are you much of a competitive racing driver? Are you know you've got 2 other brothers. Saunders is one of our guys, and obviously Seb as well. Do you ever sort of get a Mario Kart or anything like that?
Oh yeah, I smash my Mario Kart all day, every day. But we were talking about it in Hong Kong because we did the simulator, and Seb and I had a little chat before we did it, and he said that he thought I had the computer game kind of advantage over him, but he had real driving over me because I'd had a few more crashes than he has in real life.
That's always the way, isn't it?
But I destroyed him.
Yeah. Are you much of a track man?
Absolutely, yeah.
So what's your favourite car to take around a track? Apart from obviously a Gen 1 Formula
Well,
car.
do you know what? That was... I'm not just saying this because I'm on the show. Without exception, my most unique track experience was a Formula E car. You know, completely different. But,
what do you think of the Season 2 cars? Because I think it's obviously Gen 1 looked good.
Fantastic.
But Gen 2 looks just like it's almost like a Batmobile, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, to say it's a step on would be an understatement. I mean, dramatically, like sculpturally significant, beautiful to look at, you know. And but for me, it's become exciting because there's no driver changes now, which was obviously one of the most unique features of Formula E was the fact that last season people were physically swapping cars. But what I love about it now is even though we have extended battery life, I love that at the end people are crossing the line with like 1% battery left, you know?
They really know how to drain
cool.
the most out of the battery, don't they?
Yeah, it's
sort of
great.
a unique race experience as well when you're there because the cars look so cool as they're going round, but then they're also they make like a really unique noise, like sort of zoom by in a very very futuristic when you're there, and you're also in the centre of a city, which makes it feel even weirder.
Yeah.
Like when we were in Battersea Park, when I was in the centre of Paris last year, I'm sure it was the same in Hong Kong. You feel like you're on holiday almost.
It's crazy.
It's not a weird sort of experience. It feels futuristic, almost like it's on a computer game.
The seamless transition.
Yeah, thanks. You can win one of these, of course, if you want to win an Xbox One S, which is great. Are you an Xbox man? Or you?
I am, yes.
Yeah,
I am.
I'm a big Xbox man.
Can I enter this?
As someone who's already been involved in the show, you
Yeah.
can, but you also can't. So
You
make it fair.
can't win. You can enter all day long, you're just not going to get picked.
Well, maybe it would help actually. Yeah, if you want to follow, obviously the FE Voltage accounts at FE Voltage and just retweet the competition tweet. Then, and this is no joke. We will pick the winner on April 1st. So it won't be an April Fool's. If you wake up to someone saying to you, you've won an Xbox One, don't ignore them.
Don't delete it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, sure I have. Yeah.
Cool.
And of course, you get a copy of Forza Motorsport 7 as well, which is absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much, of course, for joining us. If you are getting up this early in the UK, it's good to have you. Get in your questions to us. I've got an iPad right here. And you can get in on hashtag FE Voltage. Someone else who's sort of mid-afternoon, I'm guessing it's about 2:30, 2:44 around the world, is Saunders. Joins us live from the track. Saundy Dondy, how you doing?
How you doing, guys? Yeah, I'm all right, thank you. How are you guys? Enjoying an early start for you guys?
No.
Don't rub it in, mate. We know that you guys have basically been living the life out there before you do the race. I've seen all your pictures. I've seen everything that's going on in the hotel pool.
I can tell you something. Maybe not had as early of a start as you guys, but I can guarantee you that you have never been as hot in your life as I am right now. It's 90 degrees humidity, and this is damp, very, very damp.
In the sun.
Okay, wow.
Make sure you get your shower in a can, Saunders. You've got your Lynx Africa.
He's a roll-on man, I think you find.
Saunders is definitely a roll-on man, yeah.
I am a roller man. You're right about that. But I think we should get back to Formula E because I want to sort of bring into the conversation some important things ahead of the race.
Yeah, absolutely.
If that's all right.
Yeah, go for it.
Can I do that?
Yeah, please do.
OK, so let's have a little spin around here. So behind me here, we've got Oliver Rowland. Now, we spoke to him last race. He's had a really good qualifying session for the last few races now. Had a pretty decent race in Mexico, but he's never had the chance to actually win the race. Something has happened every time for both him and his teammate. And he puts himself back on the front of the grid for the first time, but pole position for the first time, which means that we've got another crack, basically, to see if he can have a go at getting his first win. I think this could be the time. Let's see if we can have a little chat with him. I think he's talking to his team principal right now, so this is like major briefing right now.
Is he wearing a scarf?
Ollie, can we just grab you for 2 seconds? Ollie, how are you doing? You're at the front of the grid again, this time your first pole position. How is it going to be different this time? Tell us.
He's literally wearing a scarf.
Hong Kong was extremely unlucky. It doesn't happen very often what happened with the full course yellow button. But yeah, take each lap by lap. Do a good start, do a good race, and hope for the best. It's clear the car's good. I'm performing quite well. Yeah, I'm a bit nervous, to be honest.
You just mentioned about the start. That's something that I'm quite interested to know. Like, how do you approach a start like this? You're front of the grid. You want to be going into that first turn in the same position. How do you make sure that happens?
Well, to be honest, for me, it's a bit different. I mean, you rely on the engineers a little bit to do a good job with the start maps. So, yeah, just get a good reaction. Wait for those lights to go out and go when they go out. So that'll be the target. Obviously, you know, it's big saving. It's something that I'm not really used to. All the other races have been quite low saving, but here's quite big. So, of course, it's a new challenge. Each hurdle's new. So let's see, but I'm pretty confident.
Well, this could be the day. Excited to see. Best of luck, mate.
Saunders, tell him.
Good one. See you at the end. All right, let's have a little look at that car.
Yeah.
Sorry, Becky, just have a little spin around.
No, all good.
So
all good.
this is the car that is currently head of the pole position, front of the grid, ready to go. I mean, look at this. This is really nice. This is quite cooling.
Saunders, how hot is it out there? Are you really hot? Is it really badly hot for you?
It's very humid, and it's around about 30 degrees-ish, maybe a little bit over. But in case you don't know what this is, guys, this dry ice is obviously I may be hot as a person, but it's massively crucial to keep these cars cool, keep the brakes cool before the race, and as much as they can. So this is a crucial part of a setup for a Formula E car ahead of the race, any motorsport, to be fair, actually. But let's keep walking. Let's have a little look around. Let's find our way through the grid here. Also, while we're walking, Spencer, brother of mine, how is? Can you just give me a quick recap of your situation and your enjoyment of the last race? Because it was a good one to come to.
It was a great one to come to. Really enjoyed it. I remember how busy it was on the grid before we kicked off as well. Naomi Campbell was all over me like a rash.
Yeah.
It was very awkward, especially in front of Liam Payne. But no, it's fantastic. Lots of drama, obviously, from the get-go.
Yeah.
And I did feel very sorry for Sam Bird, I must admit, seeing him celebrating, the lovely champagne moment.
You saw firsthand what happened to Roland in the last race.
I did.
Because he obviously came to, let's spin round, we get him in the backdrop. he had a great start and then had a bit of a mare by hitting that button on his wheel, which meant he slowed himself right down, got overtaken, then ended up not finishing thanks to crashing. But this is another chance for him. So is your money on him this time, Spence? Who's your money on?
Do you remember we had a chat before, didn't we? It was me, Seb and Saunders, and we were chatting about who we were going to back for it. And Seb had seen, obviously, Roland go really well earlier in the day, and Saunders was backing him as well. And I'm partial to a Belgian, personally. So I was going with D'Ambrosio.
Great choice.
And but we actually had a chat with Roland, and I didn't want to sort of put him on the spot, but at the same time I just sort of said, why should I back you? I asked him to kind of advertise his skill set. I felt really bad afterwards. But he's a good lad. I'm obviously rooting for the British guys as well, and all of them hopefully do well. But I don't know, Saund, you sort of cursed him last week, so I'm wondering whether, last time out, so I'm wondering whether it's going to happen again here.
I think that it's been a long time coming now. It's been a good few races where Nissan have really put in a good shift, but just not done the final product. So this could be the time. But also, a massively worthy mention, quickly before I leave you guys, is John-Eric Verne, because obviously former reigning champion, he has had a terrible start to the season. There's 3 races in a row without any points, maybe even 4 races in a row without any points. So he has a massive mountain to climb, and he needs to start this race. He's got to get major points today, otherwise it could be dream over for getting another championship. And as it happens, he managed to qualify second on the grid, so he's going to be going for Oliver Rowland on that first turn, trying to get himself ahead. So it should be a good one. That's the one to watch on that first lap. You've got to watch that little battle.
Fantastic stuff.
I'll leave you guys to enjoy that and catch up with you a little bit later on.
Thank you very much, Saunders. Don't forget to follow him on Instagram, @SaundersCB. Well worth a look. Yeah, like he says, Verne starts second on the grid, but over there in race control, you guys doing more analysis.
Well, qualifying was quite interesting, wasn't it? We had a little bit of a thrill and a spill, and then an unobvious rookie starting at the front of the pack for the race. Oliver Rowland, I'm really proud of him, actually. Do you see, he's actually quite nervous. You can see it in his face. He's just like, Yeah,
you get that, I think you get quite an honest vibe from him. He's quite enjoying the fact that he's got this opportunity. He wasn't, a few months before the start of the season, he wasn't in Formula E. He wasn't in that seat. He got that opportunity because the driver who was meant to be in his car this season bailed out basically on the eve of the season. Nissan called Ollie Rowland up, and look at him, he's doing a mega job. He was always someone that was tipped for very big things, but he's very interesting guy, really, as I say, really honest, and he's put it on the limit for this lap. And to put it on pole here on a new circuit, what I think it does show is that it's a new track. The other guys don't have prior experience or anything like that. It's a level playing field for everyone, and he's the one that's gone and put it on pole position.
He's ambitious, and it is his first pole of the season, so I hope he really has the talent to put it down in the race. Now, attack mode. I just want to talk about this for a second because it is on the outside of turn 3 now. Now, we've seen how they put it in some rather awkward positions throughout the season so far.
Put it up here on the
and
screen,
now
so it's
here,
just there.
it's just on the outside here, so you're going to have to go very slow into it, and to come out of it again into the racing line, 100% you're going to lose positions going through this.
Yeah, it's going to be super difficult because it's going to be low grip, so you're going to have to back off, but it's also right up against the wall as well. So you've got a big chance of maybe going a bit too far, put it in the barrier and ruining your race. But it's good. It's in a great position to offer a bit of strategic variety. Sometimes with attack mode, it's slightly different. It's either on the inside of a corner, on the exit of a hairpin or something like that. And what we've got there, with something on that corner, we have something where the teams and the drivers are going to have to really think about how they use it, because you've got to use it twice during the race. You get 2 lots of 4 minutes with an extra 25 kilowatts of power. That can make or break your race. How you implement that strategy is going to be absolutely key.
And guys, for you at home who remember with attack mode, it is an extra 25 kilowatts of power, which has to be used twice during the race. And yeah, it basically can be the difference between getting that first position or second position.
I think there is going to be a big strategic element to this race because all of the teams are talking about high energy management. Sometimes we have that, sometimes we don't. I reckon if it's a green flag race, if we don't have a safety car, it's going to be absolutely on the limit from start to finish.
Well, my money is actually on Pascal Wehrlein. But guys, who have you got your money on?
We're about to find out because there's only one way to choose your driver for Sanya. Sanya's people do it this way. They put a load of fortune cookies in a helmet and then pick them out. Now, we're all going to do it in the studio, but Spencer, you can pick yours out. You go on, put your hand.
Are we kicking off, right?
After you, we did it on the last show, and it worked quite well for getting a lucky driver. So this is very similar to your series, or many of your series on your channel, Spencer, where you're lucky to pick something good out. You can pick something out.
Shall I open it?
Yeah.
I'm just going to go.
Absolutely. Open them up.
Are they edible?
Yeah, they are, absolutely.
They're edible.
I'm going to pick one up for you as well, Becky. One for you as well, Scott.
One on the floor here. There's one on the floor here.
Sorry, Scott.
That's OK. Mine says Ollie Rowland.
Right, pick it out, and then we'll find out one after the other which driver they've got. Spencer, you go first. Show that camera over there.
It says seize the date. No, I'm joking. you won't believe this.
Show it.
Sammy Bird.
No way!
Top of the leaderboard, baby.
Controversial
Go on,
driving
birdie.
in the last race. Let's see a quick profile of Sam up there. Obviously, a footballer as well, Spencer, a man after your own heart.
Sorry, I'm eating.
Yeah, you shoved the cookies straight in professionally.
I'm buzzing with that, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, you should be as well.
Can't do much better than that, really, can you? Top of the leaderboard, British. I'll take him all day.
Who have you got, James?
I'm about to find out. Oh, I'm just exploding cookies
you're
all
not
over the place.
Seasoned cookie opener, it's clear.
That's convenient. I've also got Sam Bird.
Well, OK.
Sam Bird.
What's going on?
I'm not even joking.
Oh, you got to do another one.
Another one.
I'm just saying the awkward thing is,
there it is.
I also have Sam Bird, so
you're kidding.
It's clear that Sam is the man
Sam's
to win this race.
on top.
Pick
Does that mean we get to go again?
Yeah,
I feel like someone from Envision Virgin's been.
I'll try and do this without exploding mine all over your wonderful studio.
The reason is that it now means that Sam's nailed on to win this race.
If he gets Sam Bird now, I'm out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's very similar to the fortune cookies when you go to a restaurant. And basically, who have you ended up with?
Ollie.
I ended up with Oliver Rowland.
Sam has ended up with Oliver Rowland.
It's legit as well.
It is legit,
yeah.
Oliver Rowland.
You can't make this up. I've got Sam Bird.
I'm
not even joking.
I've got Pascal Wehrlein.
Becky got Pascal Wehrlein.
Just rolling with this.
The little German prince.
Shall we
Smash
best of
loads
three?
We'll just see. Yeah, let's just do best of three.
I feel like my Sam Bird's not legit now as well. I feel like we should all go again.
I mean,
yours was first pick, so that's cool.
Open as many as you want. It's the last time I'm going to use them because we head to Europe in the next race.
And they go off. Apparently they go off tomorrow as well.
Yeah, so you've really got to get through this supply. Now, if you guys, of course, want to win something at home in the same way as Sam Bird does, then you can win competition for the Xbox One. Don't forget to follow the @FE Voltage account and retweet the competition tweet. Who have you got?
Pascal Wehrlein.
Yes!
Well,
that's great. No,
Wehrlein.
Little German prince.
I've actually got a new person.
That's a bit of information about Pascal just floating up there. He's probably the prettiest man in Formula E.
Yeah, there he is.
And which, by the way, the big thing, and the reason that this is so important to everyone at home is whoever wins this race today, or whoever's racer finishes higher in this race, will end up not ending up chopping this. Now, obviously, it's just a block of wood, it appears to you guys, but have either of you ever chopped a piece of wood before with your bare hands?
Yes, I'm actually a black belt in origami.
Right, OK, yeah, so saw that one coming. So by the end of the race, we will know who is going to halve a piece of wood with his hands. It gets quite exciting because if they miss, they hit one of these two blocks. You might see a YouTuber break their hand today. Anyway, Becky, someone who can definitely chop through wood with her bare hands, is about to do a lap of the Sanya.
What? What are you trying to say, mate? He's trying to say I'm incredibly strong, is what you were trying to say, was it?
There's nothing, I'm not implying anything.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, Sanya. So you guys at home, you know you can actually download the track and get involved and race this alongside what is going on. So I'm going to take you through a little walk of the track. As usual, I'm going to try not to crash it and still give you a stream of conscious narrative as we're going through this, so bear with. Now, obviously, this is a real twisty-turny street circuit. The annoying thing with this one is, though, the finish line and the start line are in separate places. So actually, when I'm starting to come through here, I've just gone from the finish line. So I'm going to be heading through to the start line so I can at least show you exactly where that attack mode is. Yeah, get my bearings a little bit because it's a bit confusing. Now, this is actually for the third time within Formula E. It's an anti-clockwise circuit. So we're coming through. That's the start line there. First corner, we've got this lovely sweeping left-hander coming into that attack mode here. Now, let me just go through this really slowly to explain to you how slow to get to trip all 3 of the beams to get that all-important attack mode. You're going to have to go really quite slow. And then coming back into the racing line, you have all the chance in the world to A, hit somebody, B, lose positions. In the usual fashion of Formula E, it's all about the drama. So now we're going into, I think it's turn 5 here. I've actually lost my count, but it's a nice little left-hander coming onto that wonderful hairpin. Now, this is the part of the track where you can really stretch the pony's legs, so to say, because there's only 2 big, long straights. So as far as sort of overtaking people, I would say it would be on this right-hand side here, but coming into a lovely, very, very tight hairpin. I mean, on the tracks here, they give them a nice bit of runoff, just in case anyone decides to overcook it a little bit, as it's 90 degrees out there at the moment, and also right next to the beach. So there's going to be some sand on the track, and it's going to make it a little bit slippy, because on turn 10, there are some different surface changes there. But that is almost the entire lap, guys. It is going to be tricky out there.
The best sat-nav you've ever heard. It was Becky there, running a track of...
Turn left!
Yeah, there you go, see. Anyway, out there, we have 2 of the best influencers around. Spencer, you played alongside these guys. Well, one of them, I think. Simon Miniminter and Vic.
Of course, yeah.
Really great footballers. But how do they like their motorsport? Saunders, you're with the guys. I mean, he is with the guys. It's quite literally, he is quite...
Oh, there we go. Yeah. We just got you back.
Yeah, good. Saunders, I was
Sorry about that, Laurence. We lost you for a second there.
It's OK. I was just wondering what these guys make of Sanya out there so far, and if they've enjoyed the massive hotel and pool.
Yeah, well, let's find out. Let's start with you, Vic, because this is your first time in Formula E, am I right?
Yes, indeed.
So, just speak to the mic there. Let us know, tell us what you think so far. How has your experience been?
It's been great so far. I mean, Sanya's a super unique place, so excited to kind of be here on the other side of the world and just seeing, I think the first thing that stood out to me was seeing cars that I'd seen physically in Formula One that like scream as they go past you, to just hearing the electric motors and just all you hear is the tires. It's super cool. I drive an electric car, so I think electric cars are awesome. And seeing them race around tracks and the speeds they can get to is wild.
I absolutely love that. You drive an electric car. Which one do you drive?
A Tesla P90D.
Oh, Model S.
Yeah.
Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. Bit of car geekiness there. Now, Simon, this isn't new for you. You've done 2 Formula E races, was it? It was Rome and New York.
Yes.
So tell us how this compares to those.
I mean, every single one's been ridiculously hot. I've been sweating every time. But no, I mean, this one, this is completely new. It's a much shorter track, but no, the place is just completely different to the others. I know this is still a city centre, but it's not really a city. You know what I mean? There's something about it that's so different to Rome city centre, for example.
Well, exactly. You touched it there, because this isn't like a big city centre, like you said. There is skyscrapers around, but it is like a tropical island. It was like mini paradise. This is like a lot of resorts, a lot of kind of. They call it the Hawaii of China. Mainly because it's like dead longitude, exactly the same, but also similar climate, similar island life feel. What I want to know, big question for you, is the races you came to were Gen 1 cars.
Yes.
The cars are completely different. They're a lot faster. I think they're a lot cooler looking. How do you think?
Well, we've only seen the qualifiers so far. We did just do the pit walk now. So, yeah, they look a lot cooler now, kind of like a Batmobile kind of thing. So.
And question quickly for both of you. Vic, we'll start with you. Have you got your eye on anyone in particular? Who are you going to go with?
Oh, so we both picked people from the UK, and Simon instantly said he was backing Sam Bird, and then I saw Alexander Sims, on his little profile header. He kind of looks like a good friend of mine, Josh Zerka.
Okay, so you're going with
so I went with him, but he shaved the beard off now. Hopefully that doesn't affect the luck. But yeah, I'm going with Sims.
And Simon?
So last time, both the last races I've been to, I've supported Alex Lynn, and he may have crashed every single time. So Sam Bird this time, I'm going for Sam Bird 100% because he's same team. So
great stuff. Okay, well I'll leave you guys to enjoy the race because it's about to start soon, and catch up with you guys in the studio in a bit.
I hate you, Laurence.
Fantastic to have such wonderful influences out there on the track. A solid 7 out of 10 there, Simon Minimin. Anyway, it's time for you guys to go look through what's been happening in the title race so far, and it is pretty exciting because it's been changing hands so much.
Well, I know that we always say when we're talking about Formula E that it's wide open, but believe me, the way drivers change positions is real. So what we have behind us is not actually a map to get out of IKEA. It's actually the drivers and where they have come through the entire season so far. So we've got the first 5 races and the top 5. And look at the lack of consistency almost. You've got a few in there, starting with Bird. Where's he started? From the actually place 11 all the way up to the top.
So Sam Bird, our championship leader, he's the purple line. You really do need a big old chart like this to get some kind of idea of what the hell happens during a Formula E season. So we've only had 5 races, but look how much it's chopped and changed. Yeah. Bird and D'Ambrosio, they've had a decent amount of consistency first couple of races of the season.
I mean, you've got Jev here. This is our, our reigning champion, starting up there and then just steadily been on a nosedive down to where we are at place 11 here. So Sam Bird's gone from 11 to the top. Jev's gone from the top down to 11. So it switches round so much. Verline, he was the boy who everyone had their money on. He came in really, really hot, and now he's come up, and then he's come straight back down again.
Well, the one thing for me, the thing for me that's most interesting, 2 things. First, Mortara, who won the last race, he's up here now, but 2 races ago, all the way down here in 12th. So 1 decent result there into the top 10, 1 mega result there up to 4th. But the guy who can't see anywhere on this, and in fact would need to sort of draw him on down here, is Ollie Rowland, our pole sitter. Not even on the chart. He's had such a dismal season in terms of results. So
Mr. Degrassi, obviously, he's done all 50 E-Prix going into our 51st. 28 podiums in that time, and yet he is normally Mr. Consistent. But you can see here he's gone down, then he's come back up. At least he's brought himself back up here. But you cannot tell what's going to happen.
Yeah, he's sort of picked up a little bit over the last couple of races, and he's going to be one of the guys it looks like at the moment that's going to benefit from a little bit of fan boost. You can probably guess who one of the guys who's going to get fan boost is.
Van Dorn.
Stoffel Van Dorn, everybody's favourite. Degrassi's not quite in the top 5 at the moment. The last I had it, I've got Apbuemi and Da Costa as well. I think Degrassi's sort of in the mix and trying to get in there. So they're all looking for that little bit of little energy boost that they can have during the E-Prix.
Franz and Abt are battling it out today, aren't they?
Yes.
Out there on the course. And that one of the reasons, obviously, that we see Sam Bird at the top there as well is how well his constructors have been doing this year.
Yeah, so the Virgin team have been absolutely brilliant. They are one of the customer teams in Formula E. They use an Audi powertrain. So you've got the customer, the driver for the customer team leading the championship, and then the works Audi drivers in 3rd.
Nice.
And I know that is going to make Virgin and Degrassi about as happy as it's going to make Degrassi and Audi absolutely furious.
Yeah, I get that feeling. But, all these guys you see over the season, it all sort of evens out, doesn't it? So I guess we're seeing that happening at the moment. This graph's all over the place, but I like it. We should do more graphs. I just feel like we should do more graphs.
We should do, but let's have a quick look at the grid and see how it's all lining up now. So we can see the cars are getting into position. That 90-degree heat is probably, they're all in Nomex. They're all got full, 3-layer fire suits on. They're going to be very, very warm in there. As you could see in some of Jeb's social earlier, he's having the dry ice actually pumped straight into the cabin with him so it can keep him...
Desperately trying to cool down.
Desperately trying to keep cool. Do you think that's going to affect the batteries? Because we've seen, obviously, in Santiago, that had, a real effect on battery degradation. Do you think it's going to have some sort of effect here again?
I think it's going to be something they need to take into consideration. What I'm curious to see with the heat is, remember when I think it was Santiago had the track really breaking up and the asphalt was just falling apart, basically. It was so warm. And it's not quite that level of pure temperature here, but it is still difficult. And they've had to treat the circuit
the resin.
just to try and protect it. They've used a mixture of resin and sand, because you can see that we're beachside here. And usually sand's a problem in Formula E, but actually here it might be part of the solution.
Well, obviously, James is Mr. Tyre Man. I'm intrigued to see what he makes of the race, because you've now got that one set of tyres that have got to last in this heat, the wet, the cold, sand. Yeah. It's going to be interesting.
It is actually a really unique situation. I can't think of another race series that not only doesn't have a tyre change, but uses a compound which is probably as close to a road tyre as you can get, which in a racing series, the loads and the beating these things take is bonkers. And then you add the heat on top of that as well. Yeah, it'll be fascinating to see how they cope towards the end of the race. And then on top of that, they're managing the battery energy as well, braking as well, which is, so the variables are high.
Well, we're about to see how well they are going to do out there, because we are just seconds away from the start of the race now. I kind of want to watch it, so I feel a bit like I'm guys, but I want to watch it this game.
Absolutely.
So, you can see all the drivers are lining up there. It's getting exciting.
A little warm-up.
It must be tricky because every track is such a massive difference. For all
This
these
one's
guys.
weird because normally we've seen it catches a few people out because there's a short run out to the grid and they sort of set themselves up and then they sort of burst forward a little bit, take their place for the actual start and then they go. But here, because it's got an offset pit lane, we've got this really long outlap to take their position and this will be using a tiny bit of energy.
It's a good point, isn't it?
Well, again, the start line and the finish line are in two separate positions, which I couldn't quite get my head around when I was trying to do the track walk round there earlier.
Yeah, that actually messes with me from a spectator point of view. Never mind these guys
exactly.
driving.
It's weird when
That's
you have like the start of the race and they go tearing towards turn 7. That's always like slightly odd. But rest assured that this will be the start of the race, even if you hear a slightly odd corner number.
It's kind of cool, though, isn't it? Because we see them lining up now. We should probably get in position.
They're right on the bridge as well, over the river, which is kind of cool.
It's that view which is amazing.
That's a great example, actually, of how tight it is when they racing, you know.
We're about to go green in Sanya, just seconds away. Not quite, though. And I will know exactly when we go green. It's getting tense out there
Look
now,
at that
guys.
view, though. They are right on top of the river. That's insane.
See Ollie Roland at the very front there.
Go on, Ollie.
Costa into turn 1. I think that's going to be tasty.
My heart-
Turn 1's a big one.
Yeah.
Come on, birdie.
My
So
heart
stick
goes
around
out
with
to
us.
Roland.
Really?
Yeah, no, I feel for him because I know what it's like to feel that nervous, and for him to admit it as well. He's like, yeah.
He looked very nervous.
Yeah, he just, to be honest, catching a driver before a race is
The
probably one of the
importance
worst.
of a good start on such a tight circuit as well. If he can make the whole shot and be at the front, it's much more difficult to overtake on
100%.
such a tight circuit. So
Yeah.
for him, the stakes are high.
He just wants to get moving.
45 minutes plus 1 lap.
It looks like we've got a car out of
Seconds from
position.
now.
I think we've got a car out of position in 6th.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's kick to the comms and we can find out more about what's going on out there in Sanya live.
We'll have the 5 red lights come on consecutively. When they go out, the race will begin. And at this point, all the drivers are looking around going, can we start this race?
There's an issue with the lights.
Well, we'll wait and see.
Got to squeeze in quickly.
Roger Griffiths, nerves on the face of the BMW I Andretti team principal. The DS Techeetah team looking around as well. Here we go. Wait for the light sequence to come.
5 red lights.
All 5 lights are on, and we go green instead. So it's a poor start, I think, from Pascal Verlaine. Back in the pack. Roland gets away well, and there comes Daniel Abt up the inside of Da Costa. Can't quite make it through. Everybody safely through the first right-hander, and Da Costa is going really defensive in the blue and white BMW, trying to defend from Daniel Abt. Mortara, super late on the brakes, coming into turn 11, and he's going to get around Lucas Di Grassi there. Everybody pushing and shoving to try and find a bit of space, but it's Roland who leads. It's Verne in second, it's Da Costa in third, and we're on board with Pascal Verlaine in the Mahindra, who was a little bit slow off the line and lost a few places. Now we come into the left-hander of turn 3. That's attack mode on the left-hand side. We'll talk to you about that a little bit later. But Roland and Verne
that we
are
don't
all the
have.
way at the front.
So it's Buemi that we
Yeah.
Why do we have Buemi? Is he just late?
Is that Mahindra?
Who have we lost?
We'll find out more about why Buemi is not taking part in the race.
Still by the pool.
He's sitting
Still by the pool.
there.
We have a full course yellow coming out now, so that'll be because of that car that stopped on the track. So now
Surely
all
they
go
can just
down.
get him off.
So they all go down to 50 kilometres an hour now. No overtaking.
Scott, do you reckon you
go.
can find out for us over at Race Control?
I will
I've been requested that you can
Do
request
my
that.
best.
It's looking interesting. So full course yellow to start the race there. You see it's Felipe Nasser who's not joined the pack there. It's disappointing for him. We'll find out more about that's why. Join me over on the sofa over here, guys.
Well,
Bird's got a lot of work to do, birdie. Come on, mate.
Yeah.
At least now Oliver can actually, press
he's
that
dropping
full
like
course
a fly.
yellow button instead of doing it
Birdie's
by
back in
accident,
19.
as
Yeah.
he did in the last race.
was it.
What's happened? What's happened to Bird? He's just dropped 4 places.
It must have been the way that it shook
dear.
out in the beginning.
Do we have any
Just update
side
it.
cameras anywhere?
We're going to find out
He's gone
why
again. He's gone lower again. He's at 20th. Bird. Oh, is he gone?
Bird's
Yeah.
dropping right
Normally
down.
it's-
He's down. He's in Nasser's out, isn't he?
Yeah, no, so Nasser was at the very back of the pack.
Oh, he's not out.
Scott's finding out for us right now.
Birdie.
We are racing again now, so that full course yellow is gone. But that does mean that Sam
Oh.
is right at the very back of the pack. I feel like we didn't do him the biggest favour
Well,
by selecting him 3, 4, 2,
My
7 times.
lucky cookie Verline's also just dropped a place.
Yeah.
It's not looking good for the Fortune boys.
Fortune cookies ultimately aren't as lucky as we thought they would be.
No.
But let us know on social media what you guys think of the start of the race there. #FEVoltage, and we can read out your tweets live in the studio. And of course, with Fan Boost, you can still vote within the first 15 minutes of the race with these guys.
Good feature.
Who are you backing for Fan Boost in this race?
For me, Felipe Massa.
Felipe
Massa. First season.
Bird, what's happened?
Bird's bad has happened.
Bird's out, man. Bird's out.
Bird is out.
Bird's after 3 fortune cookies, he's out.
I did say it. Fortune cookies either they do you
Make
good
or
or they're
break you.
terrible.
It's good to get one.
I'm worried.
More than one is bad luck.
We are back
bad
racing
tea, isn't it?
So essentially, there's probably going to potentially be a new leader at the end of the race. We know that.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That
So
things up.
Buemi, he was disqualified from the Super Pole. He had a technical infringement, something to do with the brake system. So it looks like he has started from the pit lane. I'd like to get a proper run through, but unfortunately, Formula's live timing is not quite up to speed at the moment. But Buemi is running, so he had to start from the pit lane. He wasn't allowed to take his place on the grid.
Well, actually, guys, we've got a replay of what happened to Bird just there. This is going to come up.
Here we go.
Right, here we go. Because I didn't actually spot that when he was coming round.
Ooh,
Oh, no. Classic overcook. So he could have slipped on anything there, though. There could be a bit of sand on the track, or he's just come in a little bit too hard. He's a bit of a fan of doing that, isn't he?
That's really weird.
It's the second time I've watched him do that.
But I know that's happened 2 races in a row now, but he is a driver who sort of, you expect more than that from him. It's not in his character, it's not a tendency of his to make those sort of mistakes, especially like that. He's an experienced Formula E racer. He knows what that concertina effect is like, where everyone closes up. So
he's going to get a bad rep.
I'm surprised he's been caught out by it again. It won't do him any favours, that's certain.
Oh, someone's jumping out of the car here. I wonder who that is.
Hazel tweeted us in and said, doesn't seem like Dragon are having the best time right now.
Yeah.
Overall. She said, Dragon absolutely having a bad time, to put it diplomatically.
That's probably fair.
Yeah. It's diplomatic, yeah.
A few difficult few races, you say. It's not a one-off.
Both Seb and Nasser not having the best of times, yeah. So disappointing for them. But we are out there and racing. It's a very tight track so far, isn't it?
It is. Do you know what I want to find out is how long, and you'll be able to answer this, how long does it take them to set up the track? So once they've obviously predetermined where the circuit's going to be, you know, all of the signage and the barriers and where they're going to put the stands, that sort of thing, like how long do they actually need on site to get ready?
It'll sound like a real dodge of an answer, but it basically takes as long as they've got. In Paris, the where they race there, which is right, you know, you've got the Eiffel Tower in the background and everything, they can't close the road until Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
So they can do like a little bit of the perimeter stuff from the Monday before the race, but then from like Thursday and Friday is when they basically build the rest of it. So the track comes together in the space of 24, 48 hours.
It's quite cool to watch as well, because you see these guys just like laying the track, well, they're not even laying the track, but laying the bollards down the side of the track as quick as they can.
Well, in Hong Kong, obviously, it was the night before where they'd shut the road, so there was literally the smallest amount of time between actual road-going cars are there, buses spilling diesel, people making a mess, and then straight away you've got a racetrack on top of that.
That's awesome.
We've just watched Nazar get out of the car.
Yeah, so we've got 3 cars out of the race already, which is quite an unexpectedly hectic start, considering we didn't see like a big crash or anything like that.
Does that mean Van Dorn's out as well?
Nazar, Bird and Van Dorn are our guys out at the moment. So Van Dorn won.
Big names in previous races.
If someone votes for Van Dorn again for Fan Boost, I just need to get out, because he's just not put any numbers in.
He's not having the best of times,
no.
fair to say.
I wonder if this is going to spark a little bit of people voting for someone else, because Fan Boost is open until a few minutes into the race.
Well, you would hope so, Scott, my friend.
Ever so slightly. I think they've got just enough time to change their mind and give it to someone who's actually in the race.
Spencer, James, do you want to do a little shout-out for maybe someone like Verline, encourage people at home to...
Yeah, well, my lucky cookie was Verline, so I need some support here, because he's dropped a place. So far, these lucky cookies are not lucky, man.
I'm being told you can appeal directly down the lens to the good people at home.
Lovely people at home, please. Verline, he needs the assistance, so we've still got some time to cram in some fan boost. Yeah, get on.
Can I make an appeal?
Yeah, if you don't have Sam Bird, who do you
Can I make an appeal?
Yeah, Sam Bird's obviously out the race, unfortunately. I'm going to shift allegiances to another Brit. Obviously, Roland, who's top of the pops right now.
Yeah.
Can he get his first ever win for just £2 a month? You could sponsor Oliver Roland, or you can just tweet the Fan Boost. Do that. Go and vote. get on board with him, help him. He's nervous, bless him.
Yeah, he did look very nervous, but you can go over to the Formula E website and vote over there. Of course, you can tweet with your vote on Twitter, so it's well worth doing it. You might help someone in their career. Who'd have thought that someone could do that?
I know. It's part of the gamification of the racing, actually. You know?
Someone's been doing their PR.
I know.
It's good, though.
No, it really is. It's like, it reminds me so much of Mario Kart. You know, the day they start dropping bananas out the back of their car is when I'm like, that's a bit too far, but still.
Oh, no, you see, I'm all for bananas dropping out the back of a car.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think...
I'm not sure how much would actually affect the cars.
Yeah, that's what I keep thinking is...
We've got a lot of bananas to actually affect these cars.
But I think it works the same way, like, with the tracks and the way they've got loads of painted grids everywhere, like, that's your bananas. Right there, the sand, the paint, all that stuff, which makes it quite hard to actually get traction.
I'll put it this way, we could be the only show in the world that is actually assessing whether bananas are good or bad for the motorsport world.
Important debate.
Yeah.
Look, I actually did some kind of real-life Mario Kart with two people who have been on the show, Joe Weller and KSI. We did FIFA, we called it Extreme FIFA.
Yeah.
We were playing FIFA on the kind of pedal-powered low bikes, and we had a golf buggy that had the TV on, so we had to keep up to speed with it. But then we had people throwing boxes and stuff at us while we did it.
That is
intense.
I think that went overlooked as one of the best YouTube videos of all time, probably.
Not my words.
Yeah.
But I agree.
Yeah. Well, if you guys want to get in your questions for these guys, ask them what the craziest video they have ever done is, etc., then get them in on hashtag #FEVoltage. And of course, if you follow the social media account and give the competition tweet a retweet, you can stand yourself in with a chance of winning this beautiful Xbox One X. And of course, a copy of Forza Motorsport 7.
We've had an early move into the attack zone. Sebastian Buemi, obviously he's the guy trying to recover from the back of the grid. I fancy Buemi's chances of recovery a little bit better than I do PK's. But yeah, you're right, they've both gone in. They're down in 17th and 18th at the moment. But Buemi's been on a bit of a charge, even before going into getting that extra power boost. He was the fastest man on track, despite being in traffic at the back of the field. So difficult to say at this stage how far up the order he's going to get, but he will be, given he was so quick in practice, given he topped the group phase of qualifying, to then crash in Superpole, get disqualified for a technical infringement, he's going to have the red mist and then some, and he'll be properly charging back through the order.
He is a classic red mist driver as well, isn't he?
He's quite emotional, isn't he?
Yeah.
I understand that he has not taken particularly kindly to the events of qualifying.
Really?
He's been quite emotional, not aggressive, emotional, a bit outspoken, maybe sort of throwing the toys out the pram a little bit in the garage.
I like a driver to tell you what he's thinking. I don't like people to just be androids and sort of just, wandering around as emotionless humans.
That's one of the reasons why I like Ollie Rowland, like that whole conversation about him and Massa, it was like, who is this guy and shit? Like, that's just perfect. You're thinking about, he's just giving you a complete narrative of what he's thinking right there and then.
I also just thought it was quite funny because it looked like he was really considering what life actually meant when he was talking to Saunders. He'd gone to a really deep, dark place before the start of the race.
Well, it's what he does like Saunders, hasn't he?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Well, I suppose I've sort of come over all sad now you're around me.
He was happy. He was smiling before that. He was just like, yeah, this is amazing.
Oh,
I hope someone comes and speaks to me. Oh.
Guys, I'm getting a little bit of intel here that Bird is actually under investigation for that little moment that we brought up on the show there. So he could lose even more points.
I feel a bit sorry for Sam Bird now.
Fully jinxed him with the
totally.
fortune cookies.
Although
there is no fortune in these cookies for Sam Bird, that's for sure.
To be fair, I think in the next race in Rome we'll find out, because if we don't pick him out of whatever cookie we get in Rome, then we'll find out. Have we cursed him or not?
Can I just say that, Scott, you're getting a lot of mentions on the socials this morning. Someone from Engelbert saying, who is more hungover this morning, the IKEA panda on the sofa or Scott? And then someone else is saying...
sorry, we've got to actually stop and answer the questions here. I mean, this one has bigger rings around his eyes.
Yeah.
A little fun fact, every panda in the world is owned by China, and they loan them out to countries diplomatically.
It's like the Queen of Swans.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I don't think the Queen loans swans out, but yeah.
No, she sells them.
Yeah, yeah. Legally, we have to say that isn't true.
Allegedly.
The Queen's not a swan salesman.
Pandas are really hard to breed. Like, you have to, I don't know, they don't breed very well.
I mean, that's definitely a nebulous comment, but I like it. If you want to let us know what animals you think are hard to breed on the show, hashtag FEVoltage.
This is awesome.
Should we transition seamlessly into a Buemi update?
And Panda Chat.
Oh, someone's just gone through attack mode.
Yeah.
Who is that? I think that's Apt. Look, he nearly comes into the racing line.
Yeah, that's Brassy. Yeah, so that's Degrassi going into, I think he was trying to anyway.
Is it apt or Degrassi?
It was Degrassi, I think, but it's not activated, so I don't think he got it.
Buemi,
yeah, because that's
a
Alan
McNish
McNish. That's
fucking
Alan
stress.
McNish, the Audi team principal, and that's the look of a man who knows that his driver's just gone offline, lost a load of time, and not got attack mode.
Yeah.
So that's problematic. But someone who is using attack mode to good effect, and he's still got 7 seconds of it left. Sebastian Buemi up to 14th now.
I hate to say you called it, but you called it, even in your hungover state.
Well, I mean, me or the panda. Don't
No, it's a joke, but yeah, Scott isn't actually hungover, just to be absolutely clear, kids.
Consummate professional, fuck up.
Yeah, he is a professional.
But then also someone did say, can we give the fan boost to Scott? So
I need it.
Scott's getting like a lot of sort of mixed, a lot of passive aggression online today. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how to take that. Do I need it?
No,
Do I look
you're
like I
doing
need
great,
it?
Scott. Honestly, you're doing great.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Anyway, Buemi's climbed up there. I'm quite excited to see where Buemi climbs again. It's just next time Buemi activates, more people will probably have done their fan boost by then. So it's going to equal out over a race, doesn't it?
Oh, who's that? Is that
So that is no, that's D'Ambrosio diving in. So he now gets his 4 minutes. You can see that because you've got the little chevrons by the side of the timing tower on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
So one chevron is 1 minute, basically, and you'll get a little timer like you've got there. Felipe Massa in 12th. He's got 12 seconds of his attack mode left, so that will just count down for you. So you'll see when your drivers are running out of their little power boost.
Interesting fact, as I said earlier when I was doing the walk round lap, how much time it's going to take off you to go into that attack mode and take you offline. It actually just cost, I think it was Degrassi, 1.4 seconds. So that's enough to take you off pace, and he didn't even get it anyway. So it's a bit of a shocker, to be honest. I think they're going to make it progressively more strategic, the positioning of attack mode, because they're really making the drivers not only think about what's happening on the road ahead of them, but energy conservation, tyre conservation, how to get attack mode, actually getting into the line itself.
That was a big hit there. We saw a replay. That was Evans going up the back of Oliver Turvey.
Oh,
that's the other dragon. Oh my gosh.
There you go. So Lopez.
Jose Maria Lopez.
Yeah.
He'd fallen to
Not looking
19th,
great
and
for
now he's.
Let's see what the comms are saying about
Here
that.
are the race leaders. Roland, Verne, Da Costa, Apt, Sims, all nose to tail, and it looks as though it's good passing actually from Jose Maria Lopez. He's kept it out of trouble, so we should be able to keep green flag racing for the time being at least, with 30 minutes plus 1 lap to go in the 6th round of the ABB FIA Formula E Championship here in Sanya, and once again Roland covers the inside line.
Oh, it's only one corner.
Last 3 laps, it's Verne who is the quickest. They're all queuing up now behind the man from Barnsley.
Barnsley.
So the key now will be to learn how much energy everyone has left. When that timing tower on the left-hand side at the moment, you're seeing the nationality of the drivers, but it'll show the teams they drive for, but it'll also show their battery percentage. And that state of charge is very important, because it's looking a little bit like Roland is starting to struggle ahead of them, but if he's managing his energy well enough, then that means he's still in the pound seat. So he'll still be looking okay.
The pound seat, did you just call it? The pound seat.
Question, you know how, like, if you're out and about and your phone's dying, you can bring a portable charger?
Yeah.
Is that an option for these guys?
It's something that they've explored for the future, wireless charging.
Why not?
And introducing technologies like that, whether you have a strip that you can run through in the pit lane or on track or something like that.
Does anybody play Wipeout 2097 on the PlayStation?
I've got vague memories of Wipeout. Yeah,
Wipeout?
I recognise the name.
The one before 2096.
2096? OK, cool.
Made a lot of
Well, so that game, it's weird because Formula E reminds me of that game, that they're racing on these like futuristic city platforms.
Yeah.
But there was all of these things where you had the performance boost where you drive over panels and as you've collected various, or navigated your way around various obstacles around the course, you would get more energy. It's just like this. So imagine if they had wireless charging driving over and giving you a physical boost. That'd be ridiculous.
I have seen like there are roads where they're going to fit wireless charging into the motorway, that sort of thing, so your car can just keep going and charge as you go.
It's a tram, isn't it?
It's a great idea. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Drum
And
racing.
that's
Racing.
But that's the whole reason that championships like Formula E exist. The idea is to be able to take technology and elements that sort of exist in the automotive world at the moment and prove them or further them or develop new technologies in a racing environment and then apply that back to the road. That's why you've got so many manufacturers flocking to Formula E, because it's relevant.
Yeah, this is like an amazing R&D bed for
basically.
Yeah.
Well, we were both in Geneva week before last, was it?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and we could see how electric is just taking over completely. And the way, like, Pininfarina, there's these amazing electric hypercars coming out, but on the other hand, like, your big manufacturers, your Audis, your BMWs, the whole offering is electric. And that is why there are so many manufacturers coming into it. I mean, we've got Porsche next year, Mercedes next year, then you've got BMW, you've got Audi, you've got Nissan. Your biggest electric offering manufacturers are all in it. I think it's the first time all of those manufacturers...
Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're right.
Sorry to interrupt. Frins used, he was in attack mode and he's just absolutely nailed Degrassi for 7th place. So
good.
That's the customer Audi team passing the works Audi team there for those keeping score at home.
And you definitely are, Scott. That's lovely.
Customer is always right.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Another idea for you.
Yeah.
Can you just one day just throw driverless car in there?
What, and just see how it goes?
23rd driver, driverless, or some little robot guy in there, or like one of the old dummies, you know, he's got a face, but he's not actually doing anything.
Well, Lucas Degrassi, a Formula E champion, one of our stars on the grid, is also the CEO of Robo Race, which is partnered with Formula E, and the idea is it's this autonomous driverless car initiative. It's going to be the first driverless racing series, and Lucas's big grand vision is that one day there'll be a way to sort of merge driverless cars and a driver, so you have a cockpit in there, but the driver can do a stint, and then the computer can take over for endurance racing and that sort of thing. So
the driver just sits back, has a team.
It sounds bonkers, I know, and it might sound like, oh, I've got a crazy idea. It's honestly being thought about, and it's in a Formula E environment. They're the people making it happen.
I suppose the cool thing about Formula E is it is also pushing the boundaries, so it encourages people to think of new formats and those sort of things.
I just want to see the race, you know, people against robots.
Yeah.
That war to start soon. Get everything done with.
Well, that's what's going to happen, because eventually they're going to go against their master, and then we will have iRobot.
Well, basically Terminator. That game over.
I do want
one day we might be racing for our lives.
Literally.
And if that is the case, then
if you're racing for your life, who do you want driving?
Well, I want Oliver Rowland. I feel like Oliver Rowland's good, but ultimately there will be a film made one day where everyone's splitting fortune cookies open.
Can you imagine
and finding out who's
you're
racing
going to make
for.
I'm staying with Sam Bird, because in the race for your lives there are no rules. Sam Bird can't get investigated against robots.
Just pans to Oliver Rowland. Oh no. We're all gonna die. We're all gonna die.
What's interesting about Robo Race, as crazy as it sounds right now, similar to Formula E being an R&D bed for electric cars in the not too distant future, one day we're going to have autonomous cars.
Yeah.
They're going to drive us to work and things like that. Which is cool. But
you will also be completely null and void then. There won't really be a point in you.
I'll be living in the Himalayas in a tent. Then.
Lovely.
But
someone's got to fix
until that happens, you know, when one day you'll be able to order your Uber and it will be a robot car. And so the interesting thing with Robo Races, the inherent issue with autonomous cars is trust that, am I going to make this journey alive?
Right.
Whereas if you can develop a robotic car that can navigate a race with 20-odd other cars...
and be competitive.
But you can win and not crash. I want to get in that brand.
Right. Yeah, that's a really good point, actually.
So it'll be that will also be an R&D bed for future auto Ubers, as it were.
There's a lot of excitement going on over there, but there's also a lot of stuff going on the track as well, isn't there? While we're busy theorising about what the future's going to look like, there's real stuff happening at the moment.
Lucas Degrassi is having what we would call a mare. He's gone in for the second attempt on the attack mode and missed it again.
But he's got it there.
No.
I think he's got it now.
He's got it now, but he went in again.
Yeah, so he missed it on the last lap.
This is his third attempt.
And he's finally got it.
He's finally got it.
Third time's a charm.
Yeah.
But it has cost him about 4 seconds.
You know what? I bet that's exactly how his team present it to him. Their team go, you know what, Lucas, third time's a charm. Well done, mate.
Got a replay here. So
there we go.
A wide line.
I think that one's the boot.
No, he got that one. He actually got it,
yeah.
but yeah, he went through it. And Alan McNish is just shaking his head a minute ago.
Yeah, it must be very frustrating when you know your driver's capable of it, but they're not quite hitting the right mark.
Well, that's the thing. It's so frustrating for the drivers because they're like, oh, hang on a second, I've gone offline, I've gone on this part of the track. Like, how have I not got this? It's like, well, you've got those little for want of a better word, gates to go through. That's the whole point they're there. That's why it's so difficult. That's what adds a proper strategic element. You can't just sort of go, or sort of almost do it, and that counts. You've got to do it right.
I suppose the thing is for us at home, we're watching on TV or in the studio, and we can see the chevron, the line pointing. They don't get that on the track.
No.
That's another part of future racing where in their helmets they'll have the heads-up display and those things.
For sure, yeah.
And only, I mean, Formula E is the one that's leading the way with all this stuff. It's exciting.
It is very exciting, and just to let you know, guys, we are halfway through the race.
Already?
I know, that time flies when you're having fun. But yeah, we're halfway through, and our boy Ollie is still in pole. But his battery usage is a little bit more than the other guys, but he's on 51%. And Vern is chasing him down.
We've got Saunders,
we
who's
do.
over there at Envision Virgin Racing, I'm told. Saunders, come in.
Hey.
Good to see you. Where are you?
How's it going? Yeah, halfway through the race. As you said, I'm actually on the edge of the pit wall here as the cars are going past. Halfway through the race, few things worthy of mention. Sam Bird, let's actually spin the camera around actually, because his garage is just behind me. Sam Bird, not so unlucky. I think Van Dorn went to the back of him, and from what I've heard, just had a little chat with some mechanics in Virgin, is that when Van Dorn collided with him, it basically fluffed his gearbox. So that was him out, and as it seems, Van Dorn out now. Looking this way a little bit, we've got Lucas de Grassi, who's, I mean, I'm just speechless about this. He's missed the attack mode activation zone. Well, a clean run through it twice in a row. Now, that definitely hasn't been seen before. We've seen people miss it, but not twice in a row. So we've got some things going on, but I want to know from James and Spencer, highlights of the race for you guys so far.
Well,
Roland's still in the pole position. That's what I'm liking. I want him to see it through now. Now Bird's gone. As I said, I've shifted allegiances, and if he can do it, it'd be great for him. I think he was emotional before, not emotional, but a bit nervous, and I think that it will help him be confident more going forward, because he's clearly going to find himself in that kind of position again, because he's very consistent in qualifying.
Yeah. You were looking him in the eye as well.
Unbelievable timing there. Unbelievable timing, because Jeff just took Roland, as you were saying that, Spencer, as that was happening. Jeff was taking him. He's been going for him. He's been sort of like trying to get at him for the last sort of 10 laps or so, and he's just done it. So interestingly, and look, Lotter's looking up to go the inside at Sims as well. This is going to be a good bit of the race now. Energy starts coming into it towards the second half of the race. Watch out, because I think there's going to be a lot of changing going on.
There's a lot of overtaking, a lot of undertaking. Do you want to back Jev?
I do now.
Yeah.
Can I just shock you?
I'll swap it like that.
Jeff, did you see all of his socials from this week? It's just him and Lotterer like doing the Baywatch and all the rest of it.
Yeah, very sweet.
I know. I think they really, yeah. Saunders, did you see the boys, Lotterer and Jev, doing their little Baywatch impression?
He was in the pool, mate, with them.
Was it? I bet he was filming.
Yeah.
Getting knee deep with
No, I wish. Oh yeah, Alex, we know Alex, don't we, Laurence? He's the guy that does all that stuff, and yeah, it was very funny, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Those guys are such a good bromance. The Gendre connection is one of the favourites in Formula E.
What's your favourite bromance, Saunders?
In general, or within Formula E?
No, definitely within Formula E.
Oh, good. Okay. Gendre is hard to beat because they just click together. They're very funny. There's an amazing video from last season in Mexico. Oh, we've got some celebration going on. I think that probably means that Lotterer has just taken a place. No, Vern is...
I think it means Vern got attack mode.
Jev's in attack mode. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
So, again, he could maybe stretch out that gap now a little bit, which he'll be wanting to do. This is so big. By the way, if Jev wins this is so big for the championship. It's going to put him right back into a position where he can actually go for fighting. It's so tight at the top. It's like 2 points between the top 4.
Wow.
So this is massive that Jev, if he can hold this is going to be huge for his season.
Huge news out there on the track with Saunders. Stuff happening live right behind him. It's good to get that reaction. Thank you very much, Saunders. He's fantastic on Instagram. You can go and check him out over there at Saunders CB. We'll find out live in the studio as well how proud Spencer is as a brother of his brother in a little while. But race control's going crazy.
Well, that's just basically all kicked off at the front. We've just lost Alexander Sims in the second BMW from it as well.
Simsy.
So he's fallen right... There we go, look.
Oh, that's a bit pick, isn't it? Josh Zerka.
The irony of us talking about Sims and he drops out.
Yeah. Should have used an actual Sims.
Looks like a chunky amount of damage. But before that, we saw Vern get in front of Roland. Roland get a little bit flustered, come under attack from Da Costa, defended quite hard, turned in on him when Da Costa had a wheel inside. That put Da Costa slightly in the wall. So you might be able to see on the front of Da Costa's BMW, he's got a bit of damage on the tip of the nose, but they've managed to carry on racing. And then Vern went in and has taken attack mode, so that's why they've all bunched up. So here's Sims.
Uh-oh.
Put in the wall there.
Oh, see ya.
Oh, that's
broken the right rear corner of the car.
So out of 3 out of 5 British drivers which are on the grid, yeah, 3 of them are off.
Classic.
One of my favourite videos that you've ever done, Spencer, was the one where you used footballers' names as Cockney rhyming slang or footballer rhyming slang. I'd say it's one of the best one of the best constructed videos I've ever seen on YouTube.
It took a longer time.
It looked like it took forever. That was actually you and Saunders as well.
It was,
yeah. Your brother. Is it? I think we can definitely come up with some driver rhyming slang.
Yeah.
So, for instance, I've already come up with one. This is just a weird one, but he's in Sam. It's Sam Bird, third.
Yeah, I've got one for you. It's gone absolutely Oliver.
Yeah.
Topsy-turvy.
That's brilliant. Yeah. That's a really good one. He'll never Jean-Eric Verne, learn.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not the best.
I'm just trying to rhyme words now. That's the way that it works. I mean, if you guys have got any, just feel willing to throw them in, but I don't know if you guys are as good at as puns as Spencer is. Definitely left me hanging there. Thank you.
There was another one. Oh, it doesn't really work.
He's cut his...
D'Ambrosio being like rice pudding.
I was trying to go with something like that as well. I was trying to think of something with a frings and fringe, but it didn't work.
But guys, obviously you can see that full course yellow is still out there, but I just wanted to sort of say...
Becky literally goes, enough of that. Stop that now.
I know, I was just moving on.
Yeah.
I was saving you, mate. Obviously, you just seen him go into the wall a little bit. Now, it kind of looks like he just bounces off, but I just want you to know, like, when you take an impact like that, you don't really, because you're strapped in so hard. Like, it hurts a lot to get like a right-hander on the front there. That would literally just bang him around in the car.
Because you are the car, really, aren't you? Like, you are part of it.
Yeah, so because of safety regulations, obviously you've got the halo and stuff there on the wall. You're so strapped in that you need to be at one with the car, so when it's moving, you're not wobbling around inside and getting hurt. But ultimately, when you do have a little tap against the wall like that, it doesn't look like much to us, but that would have actually probably winded him, and he'll get out a little bit, ears ringing, his little few, you know, he'll be fine, but he will be a bit shook.
I guess with us talking about driverless cars and stuff, that's one thing that a computer maybe wouldn't think of, is how painful it would be. They just go, yeah, I'll just throw the car into a wall or whatever.
What is pain?
Yeah.
What? It is.
We're getting very existential
well, yeah.
on today's show.
If you want to go really deep.
If you want to let us know what pain is on hashtag FE Voltage, just let us know at home. We'd love to know. Maybe it's a grey cloud appearing on a blue
God,
day.
it's very early for some of this real deep chat. You know?
Speaking of someone who knows pain, what's going on over there, Scott?
Well, thank you. Seamless transition.
Thanks.
Yeah, well, speaking of pain, Nelson Piquet Jr.'s just found out what it's like to hit the wall in Sanya. So we've got another car. So that's Piquet, Sims, Paffett, Lopez, Van Dorn, Bird and Nazar all out of the race. And we've still got a fair way to go. So we're under safety car at the moment. You'll see the BMW i8 will be leading the field round. So reduced pace, it's so they can recover the broken vehicles because they need to be able to do it safely. So what they'll do now is they'll tour around like this, massively reduce speed, no overtaking, and this
is a good point to get attack mode.
Well, it is if you time it right. Vern's been caught out here because he was starting to build a nice little lead. This is his move on Roland to take first place, and after this, obviously he built a little gap, dove in, took attack mode, and then he managed to hold first despite going into the attack zone. And that gave him the chance to build a lead. So he was about 2.5 seconds to the good, and he still had his extra power, and now the safety car's come out. So he's lost an extra half a minute of running at extra power, and now he's going to have the entire field behind him. And on top of that, because we've got a couple of laps running at reduced power, it also means that everyone's going to build up a bit of energy. So any advantage that you gained, really, over the last half an hour or so of racing, pretty much null and void now.
I suppose you could say it's an absolute Andre out there. Andre Lottery? No, OK, fair enough. It's how long have we got left of the race? Because this, I guess, is going to be draining the time for these drivers who want to be overtaking each other, isn't it?
Yeah, so we've got just under 14 minutes plus 1 lap to go. Wow. Got a few drivers that have still got 2 goes at attack mode. So I would expect Roland, Da Costa, Abt and Lotterer, who all have 2, and they're in that lead group, they're going to peel away when the safety car is going to come in. They're going to try and second-guess the safety car. But here's another look at what happened to Sims. So Lotterer gets alongside him, runs him out wide.
Bang.
Boom.
There.
I'll tell you what, though, that is going to DaCosta it.
He's feeling DaCosta that one.
You know what? Becky made like very subtle eye contact with at least 4 people in the studio and then dropped that line. And you could tell she'd been keeping that for quite a while.
I thought of it like 5 minutes ago and was like, oh, my moment.
I thought it was a very Daniel moment to drop it.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's better.
That was good.
You're not supposed to say the surnames for the first name.
Yeah, that's good though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Now you get it.
It's good effort.
Try it with a...
I'm gonna
Nah, it's
back
fine. Anyway, you guys, I think what I'm interested in is the difference between... every course, obviously, is so different. You're talking about the standout on this one. And Becky, you were chatting earlier before the show with James about the tyres and how key they are in races like this.
I was, because James, actually, we know each other outside the show because we're operating in sort of the same space. Like, we do car YouTube videos. And James has always been the one guy that I could talk to about tyres, and believe me, we do actually. I know, it makes us both sound really boring.
You guys are so cool.
No, I know, but it's very interesting because your dad was didn't he have a business in selling tyres?
No, so in the 70s.
I was listening to that last chat we had.
Yeah, all those tyre chats we've had. No, in the 70s, way before I was born, he worked for Michelin.
That was it.
And he was a tyre test driver. And he had the craziest job, so they sent him to Arizona, and his job was literally wake up in the morning, they would give him some prototype tyres, and they would tell him what the tread depth was. And it was like, okay, today it's 40 degrees of tarmac temperature, go and drive for 500 miles, and at the end, tell us what the tread depth is. And they would simulate different weights of different cars by packing loads of weight in there. And he just spent his time driving around Arizona for 3 years, developing tyres for these guys.
Well, we've actually just got like a red flag, guys, so we can talk more about tyres, which I know all of you guys are going to be really fascinated about. But what I did want to sort of bring over and not drop anything here, just turn this round. So normally when you have a racing tyre, it's pretty much a slick. Well, it is a slick.
It's a slick unless it's wet.
Exactly. But these are all weather, so they only have 2 sets of these which they can use throughout the whole weekend, but it's 1 set of tyres for the race, whether it's raining, whether it's hot, whether it's this, that. And it's the closest looking to a road tyre that we've seen on some race cars.
Yeah, I mean, the difference will actually be what you can't see. So the compound of what the actual tyre is made from is what sort of will stand the test of time, because unlike a road tyre, these things are getting an absolute smashing out there.
God,
the biggest problem is actually tyre degradation. So track temperature at the minute is 39 degrees.
Yeah.
And on top of that, the amount of friction that you've got through racing, unique trait of a street circuit is that all of the corners are very tight, so you're scrubbing off lots of the tyre. But in a racing series, I can't think of another series that keeps the same tyre. It's close to a road car. And once again, as we were talking about earlier on, R&D bed for everyone involved. This will filter down to road cars.
Do you know what really makes me laugh about these is because I was trying to give it a bit of a squeeze there. It's not got much give in it. It reminds me of my first set of tyres on my car, which were basically, they were triangles. So basically they were useless and they almost looked like this, except they didn't degrade or wear down. They just cracked in the end.
Just plastic. Great for drifting.
Wicked.
Wicked for drifting.
I reckon these would be pretty good for drifting.
They would be, yeah.
Because they've got, they are very interesting, but
yeah.
They're.
But I mean, on a slick tyre, they actually love to get hot, so they operate where a more conventional tyre starts to drop off.
Yeah.
You know, so this is actually quite a trick.
Well, they do like
compound actually.
They do like, well.
I wish I had a tyre wall on my car.
I know.
That's a sexy tyre wall right there.
This is how boring we get, guys. We'll start talking about heat cycles in a minute, where it brings the oils out in the tyres, and therefore
Please
it makes
follow me on Instagram. Not that boring, I swear.
We're gonna go back to the other guys in the studio before we turn everyone off. Okay.
And so that's why tyres are so fascinating. Sorry, you just caught me over here explaining why tyres are so fascinating to Scott. There's a full course red. Now, before this season, they were pretty rare. What? Something going on with the light. Before this season, it was very rare to get a full course red. But this has happened now 3 races in a row.
Yeah, mad.
What does it mean for these guys, and especially the guys who have activated attack mode during that time?
So I think there's nothing in the sporting regulations that dictate if if you're using attack mode, what happens if you've got a red flag. I think they just lose it. So I think that they just have to lump it. It's unfortunate. It's a consequence of the race, which is a massive shame because Roland, DaCosta, Abt and Lotterer, as we'd said, had that second one to use. They just activated it. So if it had gone green, they'd have had a nice power boost. Blast wouldn't have been easy, but I reckon they would have been able to get past Burton.
Pretty incredible stuff. We can go now live to the pits where Saunders is standing live by the cars. I love when Saunders can get so close to the drivers. Saunders, You're live from the most key place on the track right
indeed.
now.
We've had a red flag. Yes, thanks, Laurence. We've had a red flag, the third in a row, I think, if I'm remembering that rightly, which is, as you said a second ago, pretty unheard of in Formula E. It's not happening a lot, but it's happening a lot this season. The cars have just come in, and there's a couple of main things. If we just take a little walk, can we walk backwards a little bit? Yeah, let's walk backwards.
Oh, you can do
He's walking backwards, I'm walking forwards. But a few things to note here. So this is going to be quite crucial for a number of reasons, because Jev has started to build himself a little bit of a gap, which now is obviously closed up. Antonio Felix Costa had a front wing from having a little tiny front wing a bit of damage after coming with Roland. So now he's just had that changed, which beforehand, obviously, if the race was still going, he wouldn't have had that done. So that's going to give him an advantage. They've got loads of time to cool down the batteries, cool down the brakes. So this is almost like, it's almost like getting a reset. So we're actually going to get another little very mini race after this. So it's very exciting, lots of stuff going on. You can get a glimpse now, which is quite a rare glimpse, to see what actually happens in a red flag, because it's such a prime opportunity for teams to be able to improve things and focus and repair things like that. It's obviously a focus drain, a bit of a change of mindset for the driver. They've got to kind of get themselves back into it when they're going. But yeah, I mean, just look what's going on. This is great. It's great to be able to get so close to it. I'm sure you guys agree, especially for new Formula E fans.
I mean, it's pretty interesting to see them changing all the parts out there, isn't it? You're talking about people getting advantages. This might also be a disadvantage, though, right? So there are other... I suppose you can see it both ways.
Yeah, I mean, there's a disadvantage from the point of Jev, because, like I said, he'd built up a bit of a gap, so now that gap is gone. They'll be coming out with, you know, very little distance between the next car behind him. So it's going to be very much racing again. He might have set his strategy up to work to the end of the race based on energy and battery percentages and efficiency. That's kind of... They're all going to have to change their strategy now, knowing that they're starting with now cold and almost reset brakes and tyres. So, yeah, it's going to be... It's a big game changer. Like I can't underestimate that enough. It is a big game changer to have a red flag.
If those other lads, the four chasing pack guys, have all lost their attack mode, then it's an advantage for Jev as well, though, right? Because they were going to potentially use that to maybe cancel it out.
Yep.
It is always risky, you know, when they do that, when they try and go for the attack mode on the safety car, because you've got to be so sure or have at least a pretty good idea that the safety car is going to come in on the next lap. And at that point, Sims's car is still sitting in the middle of the track. So for me, that was a bit of a rush call. I don't think I would have done it if I was behind the wheel, but maybe that's why I'm not. Yeah, so they've lost an attack mode, which is going to be pretty crucial, because the people behind them, not all of those guys didn't go through the activation zone for attack mode. So now they could be pushing, and they're going to be getting pressure from behind, as well as trying to go for places in front. So yeah, lots to look out for.
Saunders, I know that it's a very pressured situation, but can you go down and try and find someone to speak to? Or I'm being told that you can be pushy.
He can be.
I can try it. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you now. The drivers, they're not going to. They're very much still in game mode. You know, that's not going to happen. But
getting a
we
helmet
can maybe talk to a mechanic or a team principal, perhaps.
Even just tell us what's going on. I'm not expecting like miracles here, but I'm expecting something at least decent. If there's a Michelin man around, I'll take that.
No pressure.
No pressure at all.
We're just looking around now. Everyone's very focused.
Yeah,
everyone is very focused. A lot of the team principals and mechanics are obviously doing a very crucial bit of their job now, crunching numbers, looking at data, giving information face-to-face with the drivers, planning new strategies. So, you know what, I'm going to be honest with you. These guys aren't going to want to talk to me now. I mean, they probably won't want to talk to me either way.
That's completely fair enough, Saunders. I mean, Hazel Southwell has tweeted in here. She's listed all the drivers who have gone out so far. PK, Wall, Sims, because of Lotterer, Parfait, Wall, Lopez, Wall, Van Dorn, Bird, Van Dorn, and Nasser Dragon. Have you seen all the drivers going back in and sort of looking pretty dejected, Saunders?
Weirdly not, because I was waiting by the Virgin garage to try and grab Sam or at least get his car coming back in, but it hasn't actually come back in yet. So it's still sitting around the track somewhere, and he's probably gone a little sneaky way back to the back of his garage to then have a bit of a debrief of what happened and then continue watching, obviously, his teammate Robin. So, no, I haven't seen any cars come back in. So, otherwise, I would have tried to grab someone. But, yeah, not yet.
Pretty frustrating. It's nice out there. Do you see Vernon Kay and Nikki Shields out there anywhere, Saunders?
Yeah, go try and grab Nikki.
Vernon Kay and Nikki Shields are in my eyesight right now. They're doing a broadcast, the host broadcast on the BBC,
it's your
iPlayer and other things.
Well done,
but we can definitely go and see them in the back of my
Show us
shot.
a little
at least,
behind
but
the
they're,
scenes, Saunders.
They're very much doing their job right now. But
I accidentally did it.
a little behind the scenes. Come on, let's see.
With Vernon Kane.
Oh, can we stay under here actually?
Filming
This is
something
much
else,
nicer.
and I realised
Where is he?
I was on the thing. Yeah.
So my
Saunders, how busy
So,
is it? 'Cause it's a big
guys,
race
we've
for
got
China.
race.
Yeah.
It's pretty busy. Like if you just have a look up here, guys, look, we've got this is the Emotion Club. Everyone's out on the balcony, watching what's happening. They pretty much stay there for the whole race. It's a great spot for them because they get about 2 or 3 corners, and obviously the straight here. So good place to watch the race. As is that grandstand. But you can see, if you actually look at that grandstand now, you see a lot of umbrellas because that's just the sun. It's so bright and so punishing here. But yeah, pretty full grandstand there. They get good access. I don't think we'll be able to see them, but we should look because Vic and Simon are up there somewhere.
Of course, they're in the
within
Emotion
the
Club,
hundreds.
yeah.
And
What is the main emotion in the Emotion Club right now?
Sipping cocktails. I'm going to say a mixture of joy, elation, and anxiety.
Was Saunders like this as a kid? Do you know what I mean?
He always used to walk around racing circuits, yeah.
Did he? I can imagine him just sort of like running around, shouting at people, just talking constantly.
It does. It looks
Quite the opposite, Spencer. You agree with me there. Like I was quite the quiet chap, wasn't I, as a young man?
He was usually in his room playing guitar.
Oh yeah, is that
Great guitarist.
that-
We've got to get
that-
him on the show one day when he's actually in the country. Get him on, get him to do a performance on, give the people what they want.
I mean, Spencer's joking and throwing his brother under the bus, but the main thing is that Spencer did the lyrics for the guitar, so that's all you
That
need
is
to
also
know.
Oh really?
Yeah.
We called it middle class acoustic gangster rap.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
Quite the genre.
And
it
the best-
sounds
the
like he's
best duo
joking.
you'll ever see.
I've seen it. It's totally true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Stop work.
I don't want to comment now. Spencer's definitely living in a gangster's paradise, I put it that way. Saunders, thank you very much for joining us live out there and how difficult it is for you out on the track, trying to get close to all the big people.
Have we got any stars at the race? I'm not at this one.
No worries, Laurence. There are some local celebrities here, some Chinese celebrities that have been floating about. So yeah, there's a few local stars here. People going crazy actually earlier on before the race. Yeah, I honestly couldn't tell you who they are, but that's because I'm not massively into Chinese popular culture. So why would I know? But I've been told they are.
That's all I say. Culturally ignorant. I thought you were open-minded.
You had
Fair enough.
one job, Saunders.
It's amazing though. Chinese celebrities float. Wow. Saunders, thank you very much. He's well worth a follow on Instagram at SaundersCB. 4 minutes until the race restarts. But before we go back to the start of the race, let's take a look at what's been going on the social for the drivers this week. We'll put that in the other box just over there.
In the box.
Because they're very active on Instagram.
They
these
are.
guys.
They want to get that fan boost though. You need to get the fans
You've
out.
got
You
to
need
get the fans
do the work.
engaged, yeah, completely. I mean, you can see them there. They're all taking pictures while they're out there. And the end of this video, we see them running through the water in slow motion. Shot by one of our friends of the show, Alex.
I've been watching them basically be on holiday for the last week or so. Like, I mean, I can understand with Nick, because bless her, she's pregnant, so she's allowed to have some time.
That's a holiday.
She is allowed to be off. But I just see all the drivers, like, kissing seals, running through, like, pools.
I often go
away.
Kissing sea lions, not seal. The singer.
Oh, no, just, was it a sea lion?
clarify.
Yes.
We'll see. The celebrity might be at a race in the future, and we'll see what happens. But
There's loads of drivers running up to him.
Oh, that's normal.
Just so
Trying to grab a
my
kiss
sea
from a
lion
rose.
impression. That's what that was.
And she's gone. Wow.
Anyway, sorry, back to the show. We've actually got some.
What's happening?
Oh,
You missed an opportunity earlier, Laurence, because you had that tweet about people that were going out the race, and a lot of them were going out by a wall.
By a wall.
Great wall of China.
Yeah, I thought I was trying to work it in, but my mind wasn't quite quick enough. Yeah. It shows one of us is a seasoned pro, and the other one has his own YouTube channel. Scott, what's going on over there in race control?
I've got a few updates.
Yeah?
Go on.
Yeah, I'd love some.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Go for it. Okay. So basically, we are about 2 minutes from racing resuming. So what you'll have seen at the top left corner of the screen up until now, where it says red flag, you'll have seen a timer counting down.
Yeah.
And the timer doesn't stop when there's a red flag, but what they do is if there's time left in the schedule, they add the amount of the stoppage back on. So we should, by the time we get going again, looking at the timer that has been updated, we're going to look at about 10, 11 minutes plus a lap of racing. So we're going to get a nice little shootout at the end. We also have loads of drivers under investigation at the moment. Da Costa's under investigation twice, one for the start procedure, one for causing a collision. That's for the incident with Roland. And the incident between Lotterer and Sims, that obviously put Sims out of the race, is also under investigation. So I'll be interested to see sort of if we get a resolution on that, because obviously Sims is now out of the race, so they might decide to punish Lotterer now or wait until the race is over, because they can't exactly put him behind Sims in the final result or anything like that. So a few things that need to be resolved, and we're still going to have 6 or 7 laps of frantic action on track as well.
Well, Scott, I suppose that gives us time to do what we normally do well on Formula E Voltage and try some weird food, or not just normal food, from other countries. I say, yeah, I've just called myself ignorant there. This is, and I'll read you the label. It's a literal label. It's
Bit of backstory. We basically just got some like Chinese food, like lots of different things, but we ordered it online, so therefore everything came in Chinese, so we don't actually know what everything is.
Yeah.
So it's if you open that, it goes on your face.
It looks like the kind of thing that should be shaken.
TV gold.
Well.
So
Yeah.
keep it coming, brother.
Some of this is, I might stab the top of it with
a chopstick.
With a chopstick. That's what they're made for. Yeah, there we go.
God, it's like drinking Yazoo. Do you remember at school?
Like it's going to be licorice drink.
Grass jelly drink.
You need to have a
What's
glass.
not to like? Grass?
You want
good.
you want
Jelly? Good.
Grass jelly
Seriously,
drink.
pour yourself a little drink out
Let's see how this
in a
looks.
branded Formula E glass.
Let's see how this.
I'm going to
What
pour
is
this.
a habit these days. Does that
Is it
do anything?
Apparently.
Is it jelly?
It does. It disperses the bubbles. So yeah,
when
it
I
does
open
do
it,
something.
it explodes all over my
Disperse
face.
that
How
grass
for
jelly.
now.
Incredible.
So this is a black soybean drink. I can't wait to try this.
I feel like you're
we've got
going to
some
like start a new
fizzy-
trend in London with like mums in
I've
West.
never smelled anything like that.
How's that gone, Laurence?
I've no idea what.
Not great. I'm sort of going to milk it into the glass. It doesn't squeeze.
That would be the
You need to milk it.
consistency of
I'm not.
cola. Well, it's got bits in it. This has bits.
Have you got the jelly drink?
I've got the jelly drink. It's got
grew up
bits
on
in
a
it.
farm.
That's
Oh,
what
I
your
love
can
this.
looks. There's bits of jelly grass.
What is jelly grass?
This is a grass
You know.
jelly drink.
Jelly grass.
I need a grass.
Okay, Spencer, tell me, what does it say ingredients-wise?
Right.
It smells a bit earthy, doesn't it?
Do I want to go for this?
Ingredients-wise, you've got all the big ones.
Absolutely
Water.
starving. I can't believe this is the first thing I'm going to eat. For
Do you wanna know
clarification, I woke up at like 4 a.m. I haven't had anything to hit my stomach yet. The first thing today is going to be
Do you want to know what's in it?
Yeah.
black jelly grass.
You've got water, aqueous extract of Misona chinesis.
So that's cool. Yeah,
Only 1.5% of that,
Cane
so
sugar.
fine.
That'll be
Cane
right.
sugar, cornstarch, 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 right. You got the E150C colouring in there, which is one of my favourite colours.
For anyone who was curious of what Spencer did before you saw him on this channel, this is actually just what he does on his channel. Normally, he just reads the ingredients to foods.
Beverage engineer.
What's the review of the week?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You're looking at 9.5 grams carbohydrates.
I mean, that's
per 100 mil.
That's quite a lot.
And how
So
you feel
why
about
don't you get it down, you lad?
Just told me nothing.
I'm being told from the
figure out
gallery
what
that
this
it's attack mode in a can.
Wow. Spencer, here's some more attack mode in a.
Cheers.
glass.
Cheers.
Cheers.
What is this? Soy?
You got black soybean drink.
Go then.
Charming. Shall we?
Oh shit! Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah?
What she said.
Yeah, that's.
Can I try that?
That's it. It
You
looks.
fire away, bro.
It looks
That
like
is-
Coca-Cola, but has the
It is not.
consistency of like.
It's
has
flat.
A,
It's flat.
It's flat Coke, but with more like gel in it.
It's got.
Oh, that's actually all right.
in it.
Have you tried
I'm
some
actually all right
soy?
with that. Can I try that?
Try some soy.
Do you want to try this?
Is this-
It's a
is
bit
this
like.
I need
soy
to wash out the soy.
chocolate milk.
What else have we got?
Yeah, this is basically soy
Here we go.
milk.
Here we go.
White.
I am partial to it.
That reminds me of something. I can't
We've got a
remember
melon drink.
I
reckon that'll be better.
do hate to interrupt because this is really
Can't say
entertaining.
recommend that.
We aren't just we're racing.
Oh,
Racing again!
about
what.
racing.
Lovely. I like
That's
racing.
terrific. That is
Let's go to the
second.
comms.
The Costa third, Apt fourth, fifth for Lotterer, sixth for Frines, seventh for De Grassi, eighth for Mortara, ninth D'Ambrosio, 10th Buemi.
Overall,
Everyone's gone through it.
Sips
whilst
have
they
been
were in.
dropped just a little bit by Jean-Eric Verne, who had a terrific restart. Everybody line astern.
What do the closing stages of this Formula E race have for us today?
Everyone uses it as like an ideal time.
A reminder, Antonio Felix da Costa still has another attack mode to use, but if everyone's that close to him, he's gonna struggle to use it without losing positions,
De Grassi.
and you have to use it. Here comes De Grassi to the outside of Robin Frines, down into turn 8. Frines drives in the middle of the road.
Bamboos is coming into play.
Bamboo's coming into play late on in the race as well.
But he defended all right there, did Robin Frines.
Jev is pulling away.
Just keep your eye on Lucas De Grassi, though. He's going to be all over the back of Robin Frines.
This is Verline, who we're on board with behind Mortara, coming through turn 10. Frines defending again into 11.
D'Ambrosio was looking around Mortara.
Didn't get it done.
Mortara hasn't, as you see, hasn't used attack mode either. Can Degrassi make something happen in turn 3 coming up?
He's got 2 minutes to go. Those the chevron on the left-hand side.
The famous voices of Formula E there. Beautiful commentary from the guys out in Sanya. Scott, any updates on what's been happening over there in Brexit?
This is going to be quite tense now for the next 2 or 3 laps, just while everybody settles down, because you've got that group of 5 at the front that have all activated attack mode, but Frins and Mortara haven't. So they're vulnerable at the moment. That's why we see there you go. You've got Degrassi there attacking Frins. He's going for it. Just touched, but he's just got it. So that's Degrassi up into 6th. And he'll now try to get onto the back of that group in front.
Go on, Lucas.
Friends is actually a really aggressive driver. I remember watching him in a DTM race, and I was mightily impressed with the way he just sort of launches himself at people and just gets around them. He's been quite quiet this race.
There's been some fantastic tweets in so far. I really enjoyed the tweet from, I think it was Hazel, who tweeted about all of the... You press the button, yeah. It's like watching your parent use an iPad.
You know when they're like out here with it as well? And they're like...
I love parent. It's good. Of course, at the top of the grid now, it's looking incredibly difficult for Roland to catch Verne up again, isn't it? So do you think this is the way it'll finish? I hate to put you on the spot, but...
I would never like to say 7 minutes and a lap before the end of a Formula E race that this is how it's going to end. I think that Verne's obviously in position at the moment that he'd like to be in, but we just see from race control he didn't respect the safety car procedure, so he's under investigation.
Yeah.
So, Laurence, I'd like... Do you want to tell the team that you said, oh, yeah, he's going to win this, isn't he? Do you want to tell them that
I'll tell them. I'm fine
with
that. Yeah, I'm absolutely fine with that.
Okay.
How does this affect the championship, though?
I'm going to try and do some quick maths.
Right, okay.
So if you give me a minute, I'll try and make this as quick as possible.
Start the timer. OK.
I think for the FIA, though, it's really interesting. So my dad's in the FIA, and he'll maybe get, like, one, if that, like, person coming up to the clerk of the course and then having to hand it over and actually go through the whole investigation of something. It's pretty chill. If you're an FIA person on Formula E, you're busy, man, because every single race there's like 4 or even like 5 people under investigation for a racing incident.
It's because they're so aggressive out there on their driving, isn't it? Who's the clerk of the course today, Scott?
The clerk of the course today is Wang Feng.
Just wanted to get that one because you said beforehand it was just a cool name.
No, but...
Seamless.
Yeah, no. My dad even said to me when he was watching it, he was like, I'm getting too old for this.
Really?
But Dad's 71 this year.
Really?
And he's still going along because he does like hill climb, does drag racing, like he does like a few other sort of sports. But yeah, he sits and adjudicates and he's like the grandmaster.
71 though. Wow.
I know. He had me late, old dog.
I'm still racing.
Wow.
Yeah, no, bless him. Married 3 times, 4 kids. I told him he's not allowed anymore.
So Scott, how do you do your live maths?
I am just updating the championship table with the points for today. So if you...
Give me a second because I'm trying to fill words in whilst doing mind things. One thing I would like to do before the race finishes is get a couple of seconds of commentary from either of these guys. Can I ask everyone in the gallery, is that all right? Can we get an on board or is that not possible? We can actually go on board with one of the drivers. Who wants to try commentary first? Spencer, I know that you're an experienced, seasoned commentator at this point. Can I take you over there? Get a little...
Sure. Oh, this is gonna...
yeah, OK.
It sets a good precedent.
We've got mics on hashtag games.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So, as you see, you'll be very familiar with that.
Lit mic setup.
We're going to throw John-Eric Verne up on this screen in just a few seconds, but before then, just appreciate the nice branding.
Yeah, it's good branding.
This is the back of John-Eric Verne's car. We now join Spencer Owen with his commentary of the Sanya race.
Yeah, we're looking at the back end here of Jev's car, and there's cars everywhere trying to get near him, but he's saying, no, not today.
Yeah, tomorrow maybe, but not now.
Maybe tomorrow, maybe in the other races, because let's face it, it's not had the best season so far.
It's true.
But it would be a big result for him if he can see this through, and this car here, look, and then this turn, the gap gets smaller on the turns, I've noticed that.
Because they break, that's what happens. It's called a concertina.
That's how braking works.
Yeah, as cars get slower and the cars are faster, they'll catch up to them.
It's incredible, physics in action. So Jev now pulling away again. And how long have we got left now in this race? We've got 3.5, no, just on 4 minutes and 1 lap left. Can he hold on? Will he do it? His first win of the Grand, as Saunders calls it.
That's good, yeah.
Also known as the grandstand.
That's the hotel there in the background that all the drivers have been staying in.
It really does look like a lovely place to go.
I'm pretty obsessed with that hotel. I kind of want to go there now and just see what it's like.
Looks like a big fish.
Jev's looking really solid here. I think he's going to see this through. I'm not going to lie. That could be the commentator's curse, but I wasn't rooting for him, so if it is, it is.
It doesn't matter. Yeah,
Exactly.
you feel free to curse
It's not
him.
going to affect me in my life.
If anything, you want Oliver Rowland to overtake.
I'd love Rowland to get in there.
Yeah.
Come on, Rowland, get closer.
Well, let's go on board with Oliver Rowland and we'll get James over here for a little bit of commentary as well. That was lovely work,
Thank
Spencer.
you.
You really are a seasoned pro at this sort of thing.
I feel the pressure now.
Yeah, you should as well.
So now
I know that what you're normally good at is,
Yeah.
this is Ollie Rowland on board. You are
board,
very
Ollie.
good at driving and talking at the same time, so I'm going to expect something good here.
Okay, but I'm technically not driving. Right
I mean, if you put your hand out, you can see where the wheel roughly is. Yeah.
So, yeah, we're coming up on, well, towards the end of the race now, just under 3 minutes left. And this is where the variables of Formula E come into play.
Wow.
We're right down towards the end of the battery life, tyre degradation,
And of course,
the
there's
mental strength of the driver.
That's fortitude, yeah.
Absolutely. So,
Of course, it's tricky as well because as the battery does run down, then the performance changes as well, doesn't it?
That's it, yeah. And actually, the braking of the car actually changes. So at the beginning of a race, the drivers are actually using the hydraulic brakes of the car.
Yeah.
Whereas towards the end of the race, it changes to the regenerative braking. So the actual braking characteristics of the car changes.
Just give me a second. Spencer, where was this stuff when you were doing your commentary?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a bit obvious.
That's a good point, yeah.
Yeah, you know. So well,
It's fair.
someone has to highlight the obvious.
The technical,
for
obvious
those who
stuff.
are just joining us.
Yeah. You see how close
for
they are,
example,
yeah.
that flashing red light there, that's the back of someone else's car.
That's actually the back of John Eric Verne's
Yes,
car,
that's
yeah.
it. Yeah. So,
It's my kind of commentating.
for the more
That's the back of a
technically
car.
challenged,
We're not playing catchphrase, but it is say what you see.
flashes.
Yeah.
It flashes upon heavier braking.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Sanya or anywhere around that region?
No.
No. Place you'd like to go in the future?
Yeah, for sure. You know, it looks nice. I keep hearing about this fantastic hotel situation.
It looks amazing.
There it is again.
Yeah.
On the right there.
You see that it's sort of the tail-looking thing out there.
Yeah.
It's fantastic commentary from both of you there. If anyone wants to let us know on, sorry, I'm going to take that back now because
Yeah,
I feel
sure.
like you've sort of done it.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to let us know on the socials who they thought won out of the two of those, because in this race, both the drivers that were drawn out the hat, I think they're both gone now.
Yeah,
They were
it was yours.
triplets, all Sam Birds.
Oh, yeah. But who
Yeah.
did you
So,
actually-
so ultimately, we need someone
Berline,
to be
who is
picked,
still 11th.
chop the
He
wood.
hasn't. He has.
So yeah,
progressed.
get on with that. I'm getting eye contact from Becky and Scott in race control.
I can give you what I think is a live points update.
Brilliant,
I'll give it a
Scott.
go. So at the moment,
There's more than
as
a
it
minute, by the way.
stands, I think third place for Antonio Felix da Costa
How has he got
is
20%?
about to move him just ahead in the points. I think it will be da Costa on 62 points, then De Grassi on 60, and then I think Mortara, Bird and D'Ambrosio all on 54. And at the moment, Verne's win launches him from 11th to what I make 6th place and 53 points, only 9 points off the championship lead. How much has that turned around, considering we were saying earlier about how much he slumped in the championship this year?
Can I just say, though, we just saw the battery standings come up on the side of the, the race positions. Da Costa's still got 22% battery life left, and yet the first 1 and 2, Verne and Rowland, are on 10%. So whether he's holding it back and sort of waiting for them to almost, well, actually, no, we're on the last
How
lap.
much is too much?
Well, he left it on charge overnight, and he's left it on too long.
That's it.
Maybe.
Must be
I
frustrating.
don't think so.
Do you think though? Do you think there are also drivers who are frustrated that they haven't used as much power? They should have almost drained it up.
Well, Da Costa will be annoyed because presumably that will be related to him not being able to use attack mode for a full 4 minutes. So he would have.
Oh,
There's a big hit
Look
out
at this
there.
massive
no.
shunt.
Literally.
There's good comms
There's
coming
a
up for that.
equally
Lucas de Grassi finds himself
shuffled
out.
the pack.
Let's see what the comms is saying live out in Sanya.
De Grassi's not going anywhere. France has been shunted down the order. Buemi surely will end up with some kind of penalty from that. What we saw Verne.
Oh,
through the
see,
final
Verline's
corner.
just made up 2
Was
places.
that quick maths? Useless.
Just like that.
France was defending
Updating it.
so
Quick
aggressively.
update, come on.
Lucas de Grassi was
I think he's like, drrrr, like on
Get
the
yellow
keyboard.
flags out for the lads.
So that was De Grassi and France. Right, let's see if they have a ruck.
Trying to squeeze out of the head.
Go on.
come back to the studio from the commentary, and that means that this race could end under the yellow flag.
Oh my goodness.
In the final lap as well. So Lucas Di Grassi, I mean, we were just talking about the maths that Lucas Di Grassi would influence there. Yeah. That's going to change everything again, isn't it? Lucas Di Grassi's changed the face of this championship again.
So Da Costa will still be in the lead, but I think that this is now going to put, because Jerome D'Ambrosio is a big beneficiary there. He's up to 7th in this race. So I reckon D'Ambrosio is now going to leap into, he's going to be 2nd in the points. Di Grassi will fall back a little bit, but he'll still sort of be in the mix. It's obviously not ideal, but
of course.
It hasn't put him completely out of title contention or anything like that.
Here, Scott. It's getting exciting at the top. Vernon Rowland pretty much untouched. It must have been very frustrating for people like Sam Bird watching for it is pretty much the whole race that he was out, apart from the first straight. He's out, isn't he?
Yeah, the disappointing thing here is that we are going to end under a full course yellow. We're on the final lap. They don't add time on for this sort of thing. So I think, unfortunately, John Eric Verne's going to cross the line and win the race in the slowest speed imaginable.
That's all for him, though, isn't it?
It's great, and also remember what we said at the start of the show. It's in China. We wanted a Chinese team to win. Techeetah at the top there. Happy days for them. So I think if there was a political winner of this race, we'd have won it.
I'm saying it's China who's politically won the race. That's good. I like that. Yeah, I like that.
No,
within the sport, that's nice.
I mean, like, it's good. I think it's good that they've won.
Have we got any examples of the battery percentages left on?
We will find those out in a little while.
I'm always fascinated to see how
well charged
Costa's got loads left.
I don't understand how Da Costa managed that, though, because to have 10% more than everyone else.
I think he's got to drive home at the end after the race. He needs to save something.
Here he is. Yeah. Here he is.
Checkered flag. So he wins provisionally, because don't forget, Jean-Eric Verne's under investigation.
Yes.
So let's see, because I don't want to see a repeat of Hong Kong, where the
he celebrates
the race winner doesn't end up being the race winner. That's not ideal.
Could be good for Rowland, though.
But as it stands, John Eric Verne.
It was only a reprimand.
It was winning. It was only a reprimand. So Rowland. I mean, we never know, because you remember Hong Kong. You were talking about it just a second ago. It's frustrating, though, isn't it? Because,
so that's.
Yeah, go for it.
No, it's 6 winners after 6 races now.
We've got onboard audio with one of the drivers. Let's go listen to that.
Welcome to Techeetah.
Good place to start.
Happy to. Je suis heureux de vous donner votre première victoire, les gars, avec nous.
Congratulations, a fantastic race. Well done.
Sound like McKenna.
Who is that?
It's Dario.
Oh, it's
Dario.
Wrong
team.
Who is that?
Yeah, kind of miss your voice. That's why they don't recognize you.
You deserve that one. What a great race. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. Feels good, you know. Feels good. It's been a long time not winning, so couldn't ask more for today.
And in the home of Techeetah as well. Fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I feel so good for the team because we had a very tough beginning of the season, new relationship with DS, and we're just waiting for that first win.
Tu peux tirer ton LCY si tu veux.
Oh, they will.
Je sais pas, moi j'ai pas envie de faire des passes.
Ouais, non, mais du moment que tu prennes pas les freins que tu fais qu'avec la région
Can they get like a fat bonus when that happens?
I'm sure they have. I'm sure they have a few. I'm sure they have a few perks. Definitely. So one of the obviously Verne winning is excellent. Rowland podium in second place, Da Costa in third. But I think fair shout out to Sebastian Buemi climbing back up to 6th.
Yeah, that
at the flag, considering he didn't take his position up at the start. Started from the pit lane, I think. So
and climbing with some of the yellow flags and then finishing on that as well is quite impressive.
Yeah, exactly. So he's done well. He's salvaged something from a weekend or a day that was going bizarrely badly, considering how well it started.
Yeah, good for those guys. Well, in between now and the time that we head to the podium, because I think it's going to take a little while for the drivers to get over there, shall we get you guys to set a little lap time?
Get in the simulator.
Yeah.
Get in the sim. Who wants to go first?
I feel like I should go first. I'm pretty sure he's going to beat me.
Sure, OK.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, humble, but fair.
If I'd
Jump
known,
in.
I would have had some practice.
I think it's going to be better for everyone if I go.
Feet in the stirrups. Head
Quite
back.
now, Becky is quite the expert at this.
Yeah, Becky was good.
Got any tips for Spencer, Becky?
Break early, right?
Break early. And also keep an eye always on the track map up here, because everything just sort of happens.
Where's the cheetah? I need a cheetah.
The cheetah car is. Look at that. Go.
Gold. No, you've got to go the other way.
Oh, no,
I said she knew it, and then she directed you the wrong way, but
there
you go.
So we, one of those guys there.
Let's do this.
Now a brief, get in there. So when the lights, you know what to do. And he's away. Fantastic start there from Spencer. Standing start, which is what we normally start on this show.
Yeah, you can break.
Oh, that was not. Yeah.
You know what? You were right.
Not,
and then you do that, and then you go reverse.
There you go. And then
you go forward. This is going to be a good 3-point turn.
Let's stop reversing. Here we go.
You know that scene in Austin Powers?
Can we start again?
Left here.
Right,
yeah, I see what I mean. You're coming up here into a bit of a straight,
straight now.
Yeah.
Right. You see, that's why the beginning of the race was so hard.
I would start braking now. Hard brake, hard brake, hard brake.
This is what I did in Hong Kong, is I brake and I forget to turn.
Right, yeah. So now you're just about to come over the start line. So you're slow down and then left, and then you're coming up to turn 2, which is a sweep.
Where's the attack mode?
So it's here, in this corner here. So you'd have to come right on that side, and then that's where attack mode is there.
Oh, it's there. I thought it was going the other way.
Yeah, so it's well offline.
The thing that's going to really annoy you, Spencer, I'm told Saunders is amazing at this. So
yeah. It went better for me in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
But it still wasn't good.
So you know when we just saw Degrassi a second ago jump out the car, he saw Friens go off in a huff. He's actually now under investigation for leaving the car without race control's permission. Yep. But I think it's one of those ones where he's got the complete and total lump. So
yeah, he does.
He doesn't care.
We did see a replay of that Degrassi Friens accident. That was quite explosive, wasn't it?
Okay, I need to start looking at the map.
Look at the map. Yeah, you're good on the straights though.
I mean, I don't even know what you just did there, but you sort of like managed to.
I don't know how to start going forward again.
Oh, you just press the other. Yeah,
right.
You need to go backwards. You need to go backwards.
This is not good, is it?
And then forwards.
There you go.
And then there we go.
Oh, Roland.
If you don't beat this, you need to retire from your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I want to know. Can we?
There you go. That's the lap time set there.
Can we bring up Roland's comms? Can we bring up on the screen now?
Is that not the end of the? I thought it was the end of the lap. You said I was still on lap 1.
Yeah, I know, but you don't get 3 laps.
I'm still on lap 1. I got on to lap 2.
I'm sorry, but we now have to give it to your.
Basically, I was so slow. Look.
DNF.
Wow.
Hadn't finished.
Did not finish.
It was about one.
Good luck beating that.
120 something.
Then if I just finish a lap,
then you already
just finishing.
Cool.
No, I mean technically. You've got to set something
you have
at
to
the 121, and you're good.
I might have broken my.
What that does is just show you how good my.
Oh, you're fine. Don't worry about that. That's
Oh,
fine.
you'll be
No,
fine.
I definitely have. Look,
It's just a clip.
fine.
It's all right.
sorry, it sounds.
This is time started, mate.
Broken the.
Yeah.
What team do you want?
Spencer's all right. He's actually got his own stopwatch back here.
Don't go to the cheaters, mate.
Yeah, cheaters not. Whatever's cool, man.
Let's go.
What looks nice? That they.
A Geox?
Geox looks cool.
All right, we'll grab
That's
that.
cool.
There you
Wait,
go.
Dragon, didn't they finish? They did terribly, didn't they?
Yeah, they didn't do great.
Yeah, they haven't really done very well for
They've
quite a
had
while.
great season so
So is
far.
it just?
It's literally.
It's just go.
And away he
Just go.
goes.
Go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just basically
actually
don't
have
have
any
Just don't
gears?
brake.
Nope,
No
no
gears.
gears, nothing.
Don't brake.
It's auto.
Ah.
Wow. Yeah.
He's made the same mistake as you, Spencer.
You're
And the
absolutely
reverse.
right. It is the braking is.
Yeah, you have
Weird.
to be really
My
on
struggle
it.
is knowing when.
But you know when you drove the Formula
I
car,
rode to wear glasses when I drive.
did you not find that there was zero feedback to let you know
So
how
weird.
fast you were going? Because
That's off the back of. I mean, the regenerative braking. I mean, particularly the Gen 1 cars. That was tricky.
also, can you all appreciate how hard my job is now trying to do
You
this
smashed
talk
it.
and like give you like.
Get it. Totally get it. Look at this. Here
That's
we go.
good.
Okay,
They
off we
always
go.
laugh at me because it
Off
goes
we
into
go.
a wall, and then I'm like, guys, you don't understand.
Yeah.
The brakes do not brake as much as you think they might.
Yeah.
Like
That's
at all.
nice.
They're quite spongy.
Yeah. Slash non-existent.
Slash progressive, not. No, because when I drove. Do you remember the e-tron, the Vision car?
Yeah,
And that was like that's
Was
a
that
DTM
like that as
chassis,
well?
Formula E engine, and like the feedback is non-existent. You can be doing 160 towards a wall, and you're just not aware of it. All you can hear is like the body clattering against the
absolutely
chassis.
flat,
That is
yeah.
it. And then you got the brakes, and you're like,
Come on.
This is attack
Slow
mode, this one,
yourself
yeah?
down.
No.
yeah.
no.
Oh, let's turn.
Oh, that's
3.
a wall.
I mean, that turn.
spent-
Where is he? Oh God,
Has he gone past it?
it's gone past it. On the hairpin now. This track is really hard to get your head around,
Yeah.
even where I couldn't
To the start and finish.
understand it.
You know what, though,
Because actually the start, you're on
Right.
turn 7.
Spencer's not in terrible shape here, actually. You
I'm
both
telling
made
you-
similar mistakes.
I tell you
but-
what, the braking on this is atrocious.
Spencer, you set a 121, so whoa.
Whoa!
It's going to be tight as to whether he beats you or
Into
not.
first.
James,
beat me.
James, tell the guy,
Okay.
what car are you driving at the moment every day? The Bentley.
Cooper.
The Bentley, yeah, I'm driving a Bentley Continental GT.
He's got, tell the guys your car collection. He's got a mint car collection.
Is all painted
Right.
mint? That's lovely.
Yeah, it's all painted
115. You set a 115, which means you
So
are
that's
the winner.
okay.
We will get back to your car collection in just a second. We will also see Spencer, therefore, chopping this block right behind me.
Yes.
But until then, we're going to hear from the race winner today, John-Eric Verne. He was interviewed just a few seconds ago. Put it in my pocket.
Well, with that potential issue with the safety car, the FIA kept us guessing whether you'd be celebrating or commiserating, but celebrating. Congratulations, you must be relieved on that.
Thanks a lot. You know, it's been a long time without winning. We had a very tough beginning of the championship, so I'm so glad, you know, for the team when it goes through a rough time, you know, to be able to put the head back up, you know, from the water and win today was amazing. It's the first win of the S, so it's finally, you know, I wanted to give the win to them, but today the win is going to Charlie Whiting, you know, a race director that we had for many years in Formula One, passed away in Melbourne, so this one's for him.
Oh, very nice of you to do that. Jeff, just a quick one as well, because the moment that you passed Oliver Rowland, you had so much pace, but we never really saw that pace again during the race.
Yeah, we saw it at the end, fastest lap, I believe. Yeah. So, you know, it was good. I think I saved a bit more energy. And that's why the pace was good at the end. Everybody was kind of flat out, and you cannot make so much of a difference.
Thanks very much. Let's have a quick word with Oliver.
Fantastic work there from Nikki. Thank you very much, Nikki, who's out there for us. Yeah, now Spencer's making the right poses. Yep. You won, so you don't have to
focus
do this.
the cheat book.
Yeah.
Do you have another one?
We do have another one, yeah. I'll line it up for you in a second, but Spencer, because you lost, you have to chop this.
Of course, you lose a race in a car, you have to chop wood. Everyone knows that.
Yeah. It's an age-old tradition in the Spencer Carmichael family. Cut this in half for us now, if you will.
With my hand?
Yeah, with your hand, yeah.
Okay, it's very simple. So you have to be like water and become the wood.
That's brilliant.
Okay. Do that now. I'm gonna get wood. Ready?
Fire away.
We good?
Yeah.
Hey! Oh, don't mess with me. If you're wood and you're stationary and you're very thin.
Yeah, that was funny though, because that really reminded me of like an old character. Never mind. Yeah. Right.
Cool.
We've
got any medics?
There's one more.
Yeah. Spencer's feeling a bit faint, guys. Is there any chance that we could? Right. Okay.
We've got loads of splinters.
Now, as you can see at home, that's very thick. So it's not easy at all, this. Ready? Whenever you want.
Okay.
Years of training.
Years of training come.
Focus the energy. I played a lot of Street Fighter back in the day.
And that will help you if you're going to chop it with your thumb.
For sure.
Okay.
Are you ready? Focus the chi.
Yes,
wow.
That was nice.
Clean cut. Clean cut. To be fair, yeah,
straight in half.
Really great
None
stuff.
of the Street Fighter dissipation of energy. You just.
Have you ever watched those fail videos online where people try and do it and like break their arm?
Break their arm. It's a good job that didn't happen live on air, isn't it?
No.
Becky and Scott, very impressed there. Now, obviously, you guys have been looking through the results and what's been going on in the race. If we can clear over there, we can see the standings at the end of the race there.
Indeedy. We have, gosh, I have to stand so I don't get my retinas burned out here. We have, obviously, John-Eric Verne, so the reigning champion, has finally made his way back to the top of the grid, and below him, Oliver Rowland, which we were all so excited for at the start of the race. But well done to him for holding on to it, that's for sure. Considering how nervous he was, he's done a really, really good job of staying up there. Da Costa, he's a bit of an underdog. He was moving quite a lot at the start, but now he's made it up into third place, which is a good result for BMW because they kind of haven't been able to be right back.
They've never really kicked on from Da Costa winning the first race of the season, did they? So it's always been a little bit of a stunted year for them. So getting on the podium, that's good. And I think the other thing for Rowland as well is Nissan, they've been really quick this season, but for one reason or another, it's just been falling apart when it really matters. And I know Buemi said in the build-up to this race that the biggest frustration for that team was that they knew that they had a quick car, a more competitive package than they had last year. So it's just, I think it's really frustrating for them to just be facing this scenario where they're like, well, hang on, we've got loads of pace, why can't we show it? And a second for Rowland and sixth. Buemi would have wanted way more than sixth place here. But to end up, I know we've had safety cars and the red flag and everything, but to end up sixth, you know, within 10 seconds of the winner, having started at the back, not being able to take his place fifth or sixth on the grid, that's a very good result for him. And also a good result for Jerome D'Ambrosio, who yet again manages to sort of come out with actually, especially after Hong Kong where him and Pascal Wehrlein, both Mahindras eliminated very, very early on through an accident, not of their own making. They've bounced back with a double points finish as well, so they'll be quite happy with that.
So 6 races, 6 winners. It just keeps happening, doesn't it? It's like it's someone new every single time.
Yeah, I'm quite curious to see if I was right with my championship.
Well, get the abacus out, boy.
Exactly. I think.
Drum roll.
I was hit by obviously that big collision at the end, but Da Costa on top, 62 points. D'Ambrosio second. massive clutch of drivers. Vern, Bird level on 54, Mortara 53, Degrassi 52. So we got that right. That's a point for Voltage.
Quite impressed. I'm just quite impressed actually with that. I love the fact that Da Costa's on first. He's the little 25-year-old Portuguese guy who'll be running around the pits, getting super excited about that. He's like Scrappy Doo. Whenever I see him, I'm always like,
I know that Vern's victory is now safe, but we did have a few other little investigations on there. Da Costa had 2 separate incidents that was being looked at. So maybe his podium in his championship lead isn't 100% confirmed, but at the moment, provisionally, he's on top. And to be honest, after the first race of the season, when Da Costa and BMW looked like the package to beat, you'd have thought, oh, halfway through the year, maybe they will be on top. But they've had such an up and down year. To see them back at the summit of the championship after 6 races, that's a very good turnaround.
Well, what we're going to bring up now is that incident between Degrassi and Fryens, because we saw them obviously come together on that corner, and you can see here there seems to be they've obviously overcooked it coming in on the inside, and actually he's going to be furious, which I think he is, because he's under investigation for getting out of his car without race control's previous permission anyway, and Fryens knows, because he just stays in his car and then just reverses and gets out of it. Like, he's on his racing line. This will have come out of nowhere.
If we can see, I don't know if we can see that again, but if you look, it's actually Fryens is racing, I think it's Buemi. Fryens is racing someone else in the background. So I think, look, so Degrassi's here, so there you go.
Yeah, but
Fryens is there, and because he's on the inside defending from the Nissan.
Yeah.
He gets offline, he's on the dirt, locks up, and just careers. Degrassi's completely innocent there. That's a silly blunder, very silly blunder from Fryens.
Furious, isn't he? Look at him. He's like straight out the car, straight off the track, not interested, get me out of here.
Yeah.
Well, guys, it's been another action-packed race. What did you think?
Awesome. Great. Mega.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Never disappoints, does it?
No, it really doesn't disappoint. And the racing moves on to another city very, very soon. We will go to Rome next.
Back to Europe.
Nice and exciting. It's good to be back in Europe, isn't it? And sort of see the European streets being raced around, because I think you get all these different styles of racing.
What he means is,
he
doesn't have to wake up
no
4 in the
more
morning.
early mornings. That is the last one for us.
Don't mind that so much.
You're lying.
I do like Rome, though. Rome's a great city in the first place, but to race around it must be absolutely incredible. So let's take a look at what is coming up in Rome. The Pope blessing a car there. Incredible stuff.
It's not as good as Saunders' kiss in the front of it, so...
I'd say some people find that semi-offensive, but that's all right. It is exciting, though, to be able to go back to Europe. Thank you very much to everyone out there in Sanya who made us feel so welcome while we were over there. If you guys have enjoyed the race and you want to enter the competition, maybe do some racing of your own on Forza Motorsport 7, then all you need to do is go follow @FE Voltage and retweet the competition tweet, which is it's fairly obvious, and the winner will be announced on April the 1st, which won't be a joke, but it's completely true. We are almost podium ready. Everyone's looking very excited over there, aren't they?
They are. Well, they can see the Chinese people are incredibly happy that it is actually a Chinese team that has come first. So it's a big win for them, big win. There's Bibendum, the old Michelin man.
He looks happy.
Did you know, because I've asked before,
right,
if I could wear the suit, and Michelin were like, no one else is allowed to wear the suit. So the Michelin man is almost like the Stig. No one knows who he is, but only he's allowed to be called a Stig, and he's only the only man.
They go through specific training to do it. The guy inside it has to be on brand.
So the Michelin man can only be in one place at any one time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I'll be honest, I have seen 2 Michelin men in one place at one time.
Yeah, it was just me, so the next one.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I don't want to say yes to that, but I realised I did then. Sorry.
It's fine.
How close have you guys got to the podium type scenario?
How close you got to the Michelin man?
Yeah.
Really close.
I got very close. I had a picture of him. But you've sort of had your own podium at Wembley, haven't you, lifting the cup? What's that feeling like when you've got a crowd of people cheering?
Unbelievable. Best thing you can get, really, especially if you've got... it's a team sport, and it's obviously teams behind them, but essentially one person lifting it, whereas I've done it with a team around me, which it makes it better for me personally. I'm more of a team sport player.
I suppose the interesting side for you is as well, you've also got your own esports team as well.
Yeah.
So you kind of know what it's like to be one of the drivers or one of the competitors, but also one of the guys who manages the team.
Yeah.
What's that feeling like? Because we often see the cameras in each of the team's, I guess, respective rooms where they're watching the race from. What's it like being the guy that sort of has to oversee them and you can't get hold of the controller and sort of do it yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not coming from a history of being a high-level competitive player, so it's not like some people who would want to play. I'd much rather have these guys playing for me. But yeah, it's nerve-wracking because you can't do much once they're there, obviously, and they're left to their own devices to try and win.
Yeah.
You put a lot of faith in the guys. One of our guys, #Harry, is actually playing this weekend.
Oh, really?
Just across town in London, at an event, so good luck to him. But yeah, it's so competitive now, it's always nerve-wracking.
You must know what it feels like to be that guy who is sort of going, I really want to grab that. That must be frustrating. Especially as well, yourself as a very experienced driver of fast cars, and obviously you've been in the Formula One cars. What's it like for you watching these guys racing around the track? Do you feel you could be one of those people?
Honestly, having experienced what it's like to be in a team environment at that level, do not underestimate the skill set of these guys. We can fall into this, vision of thinking this is just a procession of cars.
I guess also because of games like that and sort of games at home, you think, I can do that.
Yeah, it feels like it's an accessible thing, but at that level, the driver skill and involvement and the mental capacity to deal with everything that's happening all in one go, it's incredible. So,
well, speaking of someone with incredible mental capacity, Saunders now joins us live from Sanya. Saunders, what's it like over there? I can hear that they're pumping the house music.
Place for him. Yeah, exactly. DaCosta's just actually coming down now. There he is. Hey! He does his little hop, skip, jump. Classic DaCosta. In his post-race interview, he didn't actually seem that happy. I think he definitely wanted second place, but the little incident with Roland stopped him from getting that. But the guy's provisionally top of the leaderboard, so he should be over the moon. Obviously, then we've got Roland, who's going to be here in a second, just coming up with the podium. But Jev's the real, I mean, such a long time coming for Jev. It's his biggest stint of no points before this race since, I think, his first season in Formula E almost 2 or 3 years ago. So it's massive for him to get that out of the way and get a win again. But I didn't realise actually how close it was, and the fact that he's just gone straight up. He's the 3rd place in the standings officially, I think. So that was such a huge win. Here we go. Oliver Roland's coming in now. Let's spin it around, have a look. Let's get him walking up.
Way, there you go, bit of representation.
First podium in Formula E for Oliver Roland.
Wow.
Fair play to him. It's been a long time coming.
He just looks like an order man.
Look at him, he's absolutely buzzing. He's buzzing. He's absolutely buzzing about that. I don't blame him. Nice work.
Saunders, get in closer.
Let's try and get tuck in. Come on over there. Let's
get nice and close. Saunders, let us know what the champagne tastes like.
I want to see you literally drink the champagne.
The champagne's not going to be for another sort of 5 or 6 minutes, but here we go. We're going to have
that's fine, Saunders.
Past. Now,
we'll sit with you.
Let's look where Techeetah are. I said Techeetah are going to be in this little area somewhere, and he might go and celebrate to them first, but just keep an eye on him as he comes down. But this is, like I said, this is huge for Jev. Huge, huge, huge. So I expect big celebrations.
What's it like?
I'd actually quite like a champagne shower because it's very warm.
I'll let that one hang. Saunders, what about the fact that it is a Chinese team winning in China?
It's massive. I mean, you saw when the chairman of Techeetah came up there, everyone went mental. It's a big deal for them. It really is huge, and great story as well. You know, that's like shows you the change that's coming with EVs. China are a big part of that, so it means a lot for many different reasons. But here he comes, Jeff.
Can you get a high five? Can you get a high five?
E-Prix.
Is there a 5 coming for you?
Go on, son.
I'll stick one in.
Stick a hand out.
Oh no, he's going to be too high up.
He's mugged you off.
He's not left you hanging there, but that's fair. I feel like we request some unreasonable things of Saunders sometimes. That's unfair on him. Wow, what an atmosphere it seems like is there.
Yeah, I think I should try and get myself tucked in here for some confetti champagne action. So let's get properly. Come on.
To see Jeff happy and jumping is quite unusual, isn't it, Saunders?
Say again. Sorry, Laurence, it's very loud here.
To see Jeff happy and jumping is quite unusual, isn't it, at this point?
This season, very much so. He hasn't had the start that he's wanted or the team's wanted. A little bit of a, let's say, it's been coming because there's a new partnership with Techeetah. They've got the DS now backing them, so it's been a long time coming to get to the position that he's in now, and they're going to be over the moon about it. And I think he's one of those drivers that he can get caught up in a run of bad form, but now he's had this win. This could change a lot, and it could change his mindset, and we could see him battling for top position for the next few races, especially in Europe. He loves a European race, especially Paris, but national anthem time now, so...
Well, we are coming back over to Rome next, like we just saw. We're going to national anthems now, so obviously there's a little bit of time left. Saunders, we might see you in just a little while, but thank you very much for now. Oh, it's good to hear that, isn't it? I love the French national anthem. It's a good...
Yeah, LA Le Bleu.
Scott, how do you rate this race?
I think it's another good example of how Formula E can pull a surprising finish out the bag. We were saying with, what was it, 7 minutes to go, and it did look, you were right to say that it looked like Verne sort of had it in the bag, and then all of a sudden, seconds later, Verne's under investigation. Then we see a champion get wiped out of a points-paying position, and by that point, we've already had this manic red flag and incident-littered race. And again, another guy a new guy on pole position, so a 6 from 6 from poles, and 6 from 6 race wins as well. It's insane, absolutely insane.
Well, there's quite a few people still under investigation, so guys, if you're watching out there, I would keep yourselves looking at the Twitter feeds, looking at the socials, just to see how that all plays out. Now, Jev's win, he was under investigation. Is that set in stone, or is that still under investigation?
Seems like he's in the clear for that now.
Awesome.
Obviously, he'll be very relieved. As Saunders mentioned, I think it was 3 races in a row that Jev hadn't scored any points. His season was going off the rails. He had that champion's curse. Maybe he's broken it now. Got that first win of the season.
You would hope so, wouldn't you?
I'd like to think so.
Well, guys.
We will see Saunders again in this show because we're definitely waiting for the champagne to be popped and then, I guess, fizzed everywhere. You say fizz? You fizz champagne? I don't know.
Spray it.
Yeah, spray it. Yeah. But yeah. But thanks everyone for your tweets and socials so far. You can also feed back to us about the show in the meantime over Twitter at FEVoltage and hashtag FEVoltage. It's well worth a look over there because if, say, positions do change post-race, we can give you all the news from that account as well. So go give it a follow. We're still waiting for the national anthem to sort of finish off here.
It's quite a long one,
a lot of people singing along. That's what I like to see.
Do you think they're singing along?
Yeah.
Oh.
Look at him, he's singing. He's having a great time.
Do you know the French national anthem? Oh, champagne time.
Champagne time. Saunders.
We've got it. It's coming. It's coming now. Champagne. We're going to have a little bit of a few more words of celebration. There's a lot, because it's a home race for a home win. There's a lot to say. But
that's a big old box.
Open your mouth, Saunders,
this is like a tradition in Formula E.
Yeah.
They do look. There we go.
He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
Antonio.
Hey. He took him off guard.
Look at him, look at him.
I've got champagne in my eyes. Well done, Jev. Well done, Antonio Felix Acosta. Well done, Rowland. Look at this. It's like a shower of confetti.
Anyone wants a champagne shower?
Absolutely bathing in it. There it is. There it is, Jev.
Oh, there it goes.
It's in my mouth. You can see Antonio Felix Acosta on the other side as well, having a bit of celebration with his team. Just guys, look how much confetti there is. Look at it. It's crazy.
Bring some confetti home for us.
Look, hopefully, if we can get a look of them, and they're going to do a photo, but if we can get them to turn around, we'll try and get them to do something.
It's like Crystal Maze.
It is, isn't it?
We join Nicky.
It's like Crystal Maze. It is like Crystal Maze.
Saunders, you've done a great job today. You deserve the confetti as much as the drivers do. You're my MVP. Thank you very much, Saunders. We'll see you in Rome.
See you in Rome. Always a pleasure.
He's such a lovely guy, and of course, you can always go follow him on Instagram, Saunders CV.
Who was your MVP, really?
Saunders is always my MVP.
No, I know, but like you guys. So if you picked your drivers, but who was your actual like?
Oh, my actual race MV, my MVD. Most valuable driver, just to be clear.
I'd say Buemi, after what you said. I think good point. Made a good case for him. He wasn't even on the grid, was he? We were like, where is he? What's he doing?
What about
quick
you?
toilet break and he got on
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sticking with my cookie special line, man. Yeah, he was consistently 11th throughout, and then last minute from off the back of that shuffle, 10th, 9th,
I like that.
Loved it. So.
Wehrlein's a very talented driver. I think he's got real potential in the
He
future.
does. He's got massive potential, that's for sure.
Thank you very much, guys, for coming on.
Thank
James.
you.
Good,
Pleasure.
thank you.
Pleasure,
You
man.
can head over and follow those guys on their respective social media. It's fantastic and very different channels as well, cars and a lot of football, but a lot of other stuff as well in there. So it's good. Well worth looking at them. Thank you very much to you guys as well for joining. It's been good, hasn't it?
It's been a very good race, guys. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah. We will see you in just a couple of weeks' time in Rome. Like I say, we're back in Europe and that starts the European leg of the season. We're almost halfway now. It's getting...
Going into race 7.
Yeah, exactly. It's getting very exciting. And of course, we've got to say goodbye to Scott as well, who sadly won't be coming back in this series because he's got other commitments. But Scott, we really appreciate you coming here. And what's the experience been like for you?
Very, very good.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for having me.
We've really loved having you.
Enjoyable.
It's been really
very
good.
different way of me experiencing Formula E.
Yeah.
I've covered Formula E, this would be 3 years now. But yeah, been a massive blast. So hopefully it's been as fun for you as it has been for me.
Come back soon.
Well, someone's had a confetti shower. You're going to get some Chinese cookies.
Oh, that's incredible.
It's
exactly.
See that?
And they've all got Sam Bird in them.
And I was told, just make sure you don't lose your dignity.
Yeah.
And everything's fine. Yeah.
Always pay attention to your mum's advice like that. Well, you never know what's going to happen. You will see people showered with things in the next show. But what will it be? Find out as you join us for Rome, which is race 7 of season 5. It's been fantastic. Stay up to date with everything on @FEVoltage and #FEVoltage. And we will see you in Rome in just a couple of weeks' time. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Ciao. Lone clap. Right. Get as many cookies.
Chucks it in. Wasn't he?
He caught him napping.
Well, that's not true. Bam! Degrassi sent spinning. 5 through penalty. So Verne across the line takes the victory because we've just been informed it's a...
Literally hundreds of people. They did. No, absolutely. Yeah, massive.